Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say ade. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire now. Listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio and you say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app no. Our Play Store and the App Store. No tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, Kointakra, any GhanaTalks Radio page and this now. Listen, I bet you fire. 1 year, Wading, Jajai.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. What do you... This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. It's a beautiful Friday morning and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. You are welcome to the news headline review and I am your host Esinam Fiagbedu. And you know I can't do this alone. I have sitting with me in the chair Miss Debbie Adoso and Miss Regina Bless. Miss Regina, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. What of you?
I'm fine. I must say I love your dress.
I also love your dress.
Oh, thank you so much. It looks like we are twinning in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Producer, what do you have to say with regards to that? Nothing. All right, so let's dive straight into our news story for this morning. Zoom Lion Yen contract won't be renewed, presidency. The Office of the President has officially responded to a petition by investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri Awuni, confirming that the contract between the Youth Employment Agency and waste management firm Zoom Lion Ghana Limited has expired and will not be renewed. In a letter dated June 11, 2025, and signed by the Secretary to the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama, the Jubilee House acknowledged the concerns raised in Azuri's April 27th petition and outlined several government decisions stemming from the review. Contracts expired, no renewal. The contract between Youth Employment Agency and Zoom Lion Ghana Limited has expired and will not be renewed, the statement read. This marks a significant shift in a long-standing arrangement that has been subject to years of public scrutiny regarding value for money, transparency and performance, audits and accountability measures. The presidency also revealed that all payments made to Zoom Lion after the contract expiration will undergo a thorough audit. No further payments will be made without verification, and any unauthorized disbursements will be recovered. Shift to competitive tendering. In a move towards reform, Cabinet has directed that future sanitation contracts will be subjected to competitive procurement processes. Rather than one nationwide contract, regional and district-based tenders will now be encouraged. This could reduce costs through competitive pricing and stimulate innovation as companies compete on service quality to secure contracts, the statement noted. A cabinet subcommittee will be responsible for designing the new contracting framework. Improve condition for sweepers. The government also indicated plans to increase the fees paid to sanitation workers, often referred to as sweepers, to ensure a more livable income, suggesting a possible reallocation of savings from the restructuring of sanitation contracts. Now, to the last one, fumigation contracts under review. Additionally, fumigation contracts currently in place will be reviewed for performance, and any that fall short of acceptable standards will be terminated, following advice from the Attorney General. So I believe in the past few months, or let me say weeks, we've seen Anase. I said Anase. Manasseh, yes. We saw investigative journalist Manasseh, who was advocating that Yen shouldn't renew the contract between Zoom Lion, because this is a case whereby these people actually paid 850 Ghana cedis every month, but they only received 250 Ghana cedis, and even sometimes they don't even get to receive the money at all. So 600 cedis is allocated for Zoom Lion management, and 250 Ghana cedis is given to these people. So Manasseh was like, nah, this can't be going on, because this is unfair. These people will be sweeping all day long, and at the end of the month, they are given 250 cedis instead of 800 cedis. Why should Zoom Lion be giving 600 cedis and give these people 250 cedis? That should not be the case, and that is unfair to the sweepers. So he submitted a petition to the president that a contract between Zoom Lion and Yen shouldn't be renewed. And now, finally, since we have a listening president, he has investigated into the issue, and he has come out to say that the contract between Zoom Lion and Yen will not be renewed. This is it.
I remember I saw an article or a news where one Zoom Lion worker was crying bitterly.
Yeah.
Then times, I think that was 2 years, 3 years till now. She said they are being paid 150 Ghana cedis a month.
Yeah.
150 Ghana cedis a month. And I was like, 150 Ghana cedis. I trying to say, after working all these months or all these years, then the only money you'll be given is 150 Ghana cedis a month. I know now, and for all you know, she's a mother, she's a parent. Even in a day, you can even spend more than 150 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
So a month, what would 150 Ghana cedis do? These are some of the working conditions people are advocating for. Working condition in a very conducive environment is even key role to the person's mental health. Because I'll even come to work and all I know is even after me stressing myself, this is what I would be receiving. And it doesn't make sense. And sometimes people backdoor would be like, especially when you go to towns where, or areas where the place is dirty, then one person, sorry to say, one uneducated person would be like, now Zoom lion for no more yeding. I remember then times I was going to school every morning from Awosh last stop to A-Lang, that road, a Zoom lion woman. So if I have money, I sometimes give her some. Because all the time, this woman will be sweeping. So if you notice, sometimes where a lorry station is or where the road is, there are some sands there. But it will get to a point where you will not see the sun again. These people are there collecting it, sweeping each and every time. But I feel that in as much as there are many, they are not many to the point where they can be distributed to all the regions or all the areas. And besides, even if there are many, where is the resources? How are these people being treated? So after, is it 19 years of contract? And me myself, I'm not even seeing the impact of Zoom Lion.
Really? So aside their contracts being terminated, and it looks like the basis is because these workers are not being paid well. Aside that, would you say that you don't really see them working in our communities as is expected of them?
As I said, then times I was really seeing them, but it got to a point where these people are not even being seen again. They are not even being seen again. Now, the people who have dominated the Zoom Lion job is the bus stop boys. We can be here and call them, oh, bus stop boys, this area is dirty. Come do something about it. And they would come do it without taking any money. But you have to at least find something for them. And when Mahama came into power, he acknowledged these people, bus stop boys. He acknowledged them. These people are youth who wants to see that the country is clean. They are entering places where Zoom Lion will not enter. I saw a video where this bus stop boy, the leader, was under the gutter.
I saw that.
Which Zoom Lion worker will enter there? They will not do that. They won't. So in as much as we feel or they've done their job fine, I'll say they've done their best, but their best is not good enough. They are not committed to making sure that everywhere is clean, but rather just the people who just came just recently are the ones making sure that everywhere is clean. They are trying their possible best. These people are not even up to 20. And also to the sweepers' pay. It's very sad that
sad.
At the end of the day, a mother, a father will go to will go and work, and at the end of the month, you'll be given 150 cedis, 200 cedis, 600, and I think you read that 800 cedis is being given to them, but at the end of the day,
850 cedis is being given to them as their payment, but they only get to receive 250 cedis, and 600 cedis goes to Zoom Lion management. As to what the money does, we don't have any idea.
Before they don't continue this contract,
some even don't get to receive the money at all for months.
This is where the president comes in. This is where investigation also needs to come in. They need to make sure that these people are being investigated, and they need to account for that money, and they need to return that money back to the rightful owners. Fine, if it will not go to the rightful owners, which are the workers, it should go back to the government. Because you can't tell me, let's use our entity for example, when let's say your pay is 1,000 cedis, at the end of the day, when 1,000 cedis is being deposited into your account, then the bank gives you 200 cedis out of that 1,000 cedis. So the remaining 800 cedis, where is it? To me, you need to make sure that you investigate and retrieve your money back. So that is what the government needs to do. And this is not the time for them to lay low. This is the time for them to take action.
Yeah.
Because it looks like we've accepted corruption to the point where we've normalized corruption. Oh, say where dear. Say corruption, there's sanity. So where dear be to me, we be. No. These are people who work every day. And I wouldn't be surprised if these people are even reluctant to work. Because at the end of the month, you are not even paying them any sensible money.
Right.
If you are being paid 100 cedis here every month, would you wake up from your house every day and come and sit here? No, we will not do that. We will sleep. So these are all contributing factors. That's why we are not really seeing the importance or the relevance of Zoom Lion. And also, if they think that they are doing their job very well, do you think the president wouldn't continue with their contract? I don't think their contract will be terminated. Your works should speak for you. What you are doing, others should speak for you. I believe the president is someone who is all around. He's seen everything that goes on.
He is.
And if a situation or an issue arises, if it needs swift action, by the next day you see that the president has allocated people to go to this area to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm on bye-bye.
Yeah. So right now, going forward, the government will use competitive bidding instead of giving contract directly to one company like Zoom Lion. They'll choose waste management providers. This means different companies can compete for contracts at a regional or district level, possibly saving money and improving services. Because right here in our country, when it comes to sanitation, it's Zoom Lion that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Right now, the government is deciding that they are not going to do that any longer. They are going to open the floor. If any private entity or anybody at all, so it's going to be a competitive something. If you come and pitch it and they see that you are competent enough to keep our cities clean, why not? They are going to give you the contract. Because right here in Ghana, it was only Zoom Lion.
Yeah.
Just only Zoom Lion. But right this time around, it's going to be open, even at the district level or regional level. If anybody at all is competent enough to, win that contract to have the contract to sweep our cities, that would be a good one. So,
and even in a way, it would help with unemployment in some part. Let's once again take the bus stop boys for example. As it stands now, these people are not that many.
They're not that many.
So let's say they also go for the bidding, and fortunately they are being picked.
Yeah.
Just imagine the kind of boys who would be employed or youth who would be employed to join that bus stop agency to make sure that the place is clean.
Right.
And these people, see, they go as far as scrubbing the street though.
Yeah.
They scrub the streets. It's not only about just picking the
weeds.
The weeds, just sweeping. No. They make sure that the place is clean. And also to the citizens. These people are trying their possible best to make sure that the place is clean. We should, after it is being cleaned, let's maintain it that way. Let's try our possible best to make sure that the place is clean and spotless as it became. But these people would rather join hands with dirt and make sure that that place is dirty again. So it's bad.
Yeah. So right now that Zoom line is off, I think any sanitation.
We need to even set up a sanitation.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, wow. So we need to have a taste of the national cake. Yeah. So right now that Zoom line is off, any sanitation company at all, industry at all, who is interested, you can bid. Now it's open for competition. If you are capable enough and you win that contract, that's a good thing for you. And I think this is going to also boost employment. People will be employed. So that is it. Moving on to our next story. Ghana secures 0% tariff deal from China. Eyes electric car plants and aluminium industry boost. Ghana has secured a landmark 0% tariff concession on all its exports to China, following high-level bilateral talks between Ghana's Foreign Minister, Mr. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and his Chinese counterpart, His Excellency Wang Yin. The agreement, announced by Mr. Blackwell in a social media post on Thursday, marks a significant milestone in Ghana-China relations and is expected to deepen trade, boost industrialization, and create jobs for Ghanaians. He mentioned China has offered 0% tariff on all exports from Ghana, the minister disclosed. This 0% tariff on 100% of goods from Ghana and other African countries will bolster trade, create jobs, and produce more Ghanaian entrepreneurs. Mr. Blackwell noted that China is Ghana's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade volumes exceeding $11 billion in 2024. He described the talks, which took place on the margins of the ongoing China-Africa Summit in Chang'an, as productive and impactful. The foreign minister further revealed that both sides discussed new industrial initiatives aligned with President John Dramani Mahama's development vision. These include leveraging Ghana's bauxite reserves to establish an integrated aluminium industry supported by modern rail infrastructure to ensure cost-effective transportation and value addition. I think this is a good news for Ghana. You know, Ghana secured 0% tariff deal from China. That means that when you're exporting to China, 0 tariffs, you get to pay nothing. And this is actually some kind of like money that you'll be reserving right there. And it's going to encourage entrepreneurs to, you know, find the opportunity to also export their product to China. Because Ghana and China, they're as a 5 and 6, so
5 and 6, yeah.
When you go to our market, hey, made in China, made in China, made in China. So I think it's a good news for Ghana to secure 0% tariff from China. What do you make of it?
It is a very good move and a great one.
Yeah.
And we are happy. I'm happy.
Okuje too is a black wine.
Exactly. He's a black wine.
He's a black wine.
So, duty-free access to China's markets. Ghana moving from raw exports to value-added industries. And I'm coming. Yes. So 0% tariff. Was it Donald Trump that added more to
Yeah, it was Donald.
It means you not go to Donald Trump's country again, no. You focus more on China. And this is the time where a lot of China goods will now be in Ghana.
Yes.
Hey! And then China was in there, jai. But you know, it got to a point where it was alleged that China goods are really, should I say, durable and original.
Yeah, they are.
I think when this brouhaha between China and Donald Trump came in,
we saw where the big brands
wow,
were actually getting their things manufactured.
People have really wasted money. Seriously, people have really wasted money, because when you are buying that same thing from other countries, it's a whole lot of millions. But because we thought that was the original brand, not knowing that they do it, they come to take it and just design something small in it.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah.
So the 0% tariff, I think, is a very good thing. And first of all, it would boost businesses.
Yeah, it will.
People will not run into loss, because at the end of the day, you're just exporting your goods right here to China. Nothing will be taken away from you. And also with I believe that Ghana also exports some of our resources, maybe our bauxite, our gold, our cocoa, and other things. They export it from Ghana here to other countries and also to China. First off, it would really help. Now, I did a little bit of research, and they say, first of all, duty-free access to China's markets is no small feat. China imports over $2.7 trillion worth of goods annually. Even a tiny slice of that could transform Ghana's export sector, especially for agriculture, manufacturing, and natural resources. And secondly, they said Ghana moving from raw exports to value-added industries like refining bauxite into aluminium or using lithium for EV batteries is the right strategy. It's how economies like Malaysia and South Korea climbed the value chain. And also, they said it has its advantages and disadvantages.
Okay, let's hear that.
They say tariff-free access doesn't guarantee success. Ghanaian products still need to meet Chinese standards.
Yeah.
Compete on price and quality, and overcome logistics and scalability challenges. It brings me to Ghana, what we produce. Most of the times, let's take our local rice, for example. Our local rice, excuse me to say, are not being produced well, really well.
Yeah.
And even we Ghanaians here in Ghana, we find it difficult to even purchase local rice. Because at the end of the day, when you buy maybe any kind of jasmine rice, basmati rice and all that, you just wash it once and you just cook and you are ready to eat. But with our local rice in Ghana, you wash it. Even if you have washing machine, you can even pour it in and wash it. And you need to wash it countless times before the dirt, the stones and all that is out of it. And even when you cook it, you eat, then that's a boom. But when we take our foreigners' rice, when you eat it, that's not how it is. I don't know if you've noticed, even watching when you're eating a bowl.
Yeah, the stones.
So just imagine you taking this local rice out of Ghana to China. Where rice is being produced. Who would buy it? So first off, it doesn't meet their standard. Secondly, it's not in a good shape. And lastly, should I say branding also matters,
and the quality of it. So looking at the Ghanaian industry, what are some of the stuffs you think we can export to China? Since now we have 0% tariff.
First off, I think gold.
Okay.
Gold can be exported, and also cocoa, because cocoa is like something that everyone eats chocolates.
Yeah.
Everyone drinks tea beverages.
Yeah.
And even cocoa is being produced into should I say cosmetics, even perfumes and all that.
Yeah.
And we know China to be one of the leading countries that really are intelligent and also creative when it comes to doing this thing. So just imagine you taking cocoa to them. They know what they would do with the cocoa. This is not a time where you would tell, let's say you are processing everything here, then you take it. No, you can just take the raw cocoa beans to the country. Yeah, and also what else? I think for now it's only cocoa and
could it be Chinese also like African stuff. They want
so maybe dresses.
Yeah, not dresses per se, but some of our textiles.
Intoma. And the mamunya intoma na nipa ni bio. Okay, yes, and the kente.
Yeah, the kente.
Yeah, true.
And some of our wooden furnitures and all of that,
to China.
Yeah, sure.
The wood.
That's true. Oh, I've
kitchens too.
Not the kitchens too. There's one that we have I think the chiefs sit on them. Those ones.
Would they buy it?
Sure. When the Chinese people come here in Ghana, they like to buy our African stuff because they don't get to see that there. Yeah. And I believe they have a black market in China as well. So they also go there to shop. So if these things are actually exported to China and it's tariff 0%.
Yeah, and also with that, it brings me to art centers. Sometimes with the wood they can design some creative stuffs and all that. Some
they like those things. So if we have such things and then we are exporting them, I think that's them boosting our economy. So China has agreed to let all Ghanaian goods enter their country without any import tax, that is 0% tariff free. This makes Ghana's product cheaper and more competitive in China. So that is it. Moving on to our last news story. President Mahama grants clemency. President John Dramani Mahama grants clemency, orders reopening of 64 radio stations. President John Dramani Mahama has directed the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation to work with the National Communications Authority to immediately restore the broadcast of 64 radio stations that were recently shut down due to regulatory issues. The directive comes amid concern that restricting radio operations while awaiting the regularization of their authorization could hinder media freedom. The NCA had ordered the immediate suspension of operations by more than 60 FM broadcasting stations across the country, including prominent outlets such as Asasi Radio and Wuntumi FM, over multiple regulatory breaches. But President Mahama, in a statement on Thursday, June 12th, emphasized the importance of balancing compliance with the protection of free speech, urging regulators to consider a more accommodating approach. The President believes regulatory compliance must take into account the need to uphold and enhance media freedom, stated Felix Kwachi Ofosu, spokesperson to the President and Minister for Government Communications. To ensure a smooth transition, President Mahama instructed the Minister to collaborate with the NCA in determining a reasonable time frame for the affected stations to complete the necessary regularization processes. So yesterday in Parliament, we saw that the Minister, Sam George, has actually suspended 64 radio stations, but President Mahama grants a clemency and orders reopening of the 64 radio stations, pleading for a time frame to give to these people to make sure they follow the right processes to get their license renewed. So this is people are saying this is propaganda. I say Sam George or Prequado. But President Mahama is bidding for a balanced compliance that there should be freedom of speech. So right now you are giving them a clemency in a form of like a warning. Okay, we are giving you this time frame. Make sure that all your licenses, and maybe if your license is expired, make sure you go through the right procedures to get that. So if you don't mind, if you have the press release, can you read it for us?
All right. So President Mahama requests clemency for affected radio stations. He has directed the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation to liaise with the National Communications Authority to immediately restore the broadcast of 64 radio stations affected by the regulator's action. The President believes that regulatory compliance must take into account the need to uphold and enhance media freedom, and that requiring radio stations to shut down while awaiting the regularization of their authorization could limit the space for expressing such freedoms. The President has asked the Minister to work with the NCA on a reasonable time frame within which the affected station should regularize their authorization. Signed by Felix Kwache Ofusu, spokesperson to the President.
Do you think that's the right way to go?
It is the right way.
Yeah.
But when was that? Yesterday, when this old brouhaha happened, I saw a video. Was it? By then, our president was in opposition. I think during the past administration, some radio stations were also closed down.
Yeah, they were closed down.
And Mahama came out to talk against that radio stations shouldn't be closed down because these people are the ones.
They are the voice.
They are the voice of the people. So when these radio stations were closed down yesterday, and someone brought that video, and the person was like, you were in opposition the last time, and this is what you were saying, but under your administration, this is what you are doing. Hello? So in a way, I would say it is the right step in the right direction, because the past administration, you didn't give them that chance. So but this president is giving you the chance to at least get all your legal documents, because in a way I feel that first of those radio stations did wrong, because you know that as a radio station you need to be working in as much as you are the voice of the people, but you need to be working with legal documents. You need to be working with directives. You need to be working with documents that should protect your institution. But it looks like these days people are not really, should I say, up to the tax. Because if I know that my business, this is the business I'm doing, let's take FDA for example. When I'm purchasing or when I'm producing either a body cream, perfume, something that needs to go into the body or needs to be put on the body, I need to go to FDA for them to approve it. And when it is being approved, that is where people have free access to it. And I know that it gets to a point where things expire and you need to go back to FDA to make sure that you renew whatever contract or whatever license is there. Even when we take drivers for example, they need to renew their driver's license. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think either 10 years, 4 years, I don't know much about that, but you need to renew it.
Yeah, you have to.
So because you are a radio station, because you are the voice of the people, you don't want to do that. Some people wait as far as 1 year, 2 years, still they've not even acquired what they are supposed to do.
Yeah,
their document is not up to date. And the National Commission, is it National Commission Authority?
Yeah,
sees to all these. National Communication Authority. They are the one who sees to all this. So I think that it is the right step, or it is they are doing their work. They are doing their work. The president hasn't done anything wrong, and he has even come out to pardon these people.
To pardon these people,
giving you a time frame. And I wouldn't be surprised if these people still do not adhere to it, and they will be closed down completely, and that will be another issue these people will be talking about.
Yeah. So yesterday in Parliament, we saw Afenyo Markin actually saying that what has Wuntumi done? Why are you closing down his
look
station?
at it. You see, they've politicized
you
everything.
get it, everything.
You've politicized everything. The person is not doing the right thing. He needs to be punished. But because he's in opposition, they think that they are politicized. No.
But why have we gotten to this stage that everything
is being politicized?
Like, you get it. You don't have the right license, or you didn't follow the right procedures to operate as a radio station. And you have been pointed out. That one too, they've politicized it. Oh, Afenyo Markin.
Afenyo.
Afenyo.
Yes, and the Afenyo is not marking.
It's not marking. Afenyo is not marking. Miss Debbie, what do you have to say with regards to this, briefly?
Well, this is actually no news for me because it happened in the previous administration. A lot of stations were closed down, and I don't think when you are doing the right thing, there will be, excuse me, there will be an order for your station to be closed. There will be an order for your station to be closed. If you're actually doing the right thing, and you know, for radio station, you have to, you are supposed to be granted a permit. And as much as you have frequency and stuff, you are supposed to be granted permit. And then there are some sort of money. I don't know whether it's between a pace of a year or so. It's like you are supposed to be renewing it. Every year you have to renew. It's like a contract. Every year you have to renew your contract with the government. And then you pay some amount of money. And you see, some of these radio stations are politically affiliated to a particular party or the other. And so any government that comes into power, they feel like, my buying it also. So what I'm supposed to do, I don't do it. And that is why when there is a change of government, most of these stations find themselves wanting. Because they have a link with a top official in the government. And so if I don't pay, there is nothing they will do because he will speak on my behalf. But when there is a slight change of government, then you find yourself wanting because you're not doing the right thing. And it's a pity when you're not doing the right thing and then they're trying to correct you, and like you're buttressing the whole thing with politics. And for the minority, I don't blame them. It has been like this since.
Yeah.
Other government that was in power before did same thing, and so it's just like a continuation of something, a foundation that has already been laid down. For us to change this behavior, it will take a number of years, because it is something we've already normalized, and that is why most political officials find the confidence in doing the wrong thing, because they know that at the end of the day, I'll get backings. I'll have people that will back me for what I'm doing, even though what I'm doing is wrong. So I saw I saw people saying that what President Mahama did was a setting, because along the way the Minister of Communication came to create awareness or reveal to us that 64 stations has been closed, and then in the pace of 1 minute, the president also is out saying that all those stations should be pardoned for 30 days. And people are saying that it is certain. It's not certain, because I saw an article where in the previous administration, President Akufo-Addo emphatically stated that he's not going to grant them any grace period. When those stations were, and a lot of stations were closed down under the previous administration, and they weren't pleading with the government. He told them in the face, I'm not going to grant you any mercy period, and it was true. All those stations were closed and up to date. So if the president is giving you a 30 days ultimatum for you to do what you are supposed to do, then I think it is a good thing. It's a good thing. You are supposed to do it. After that 30 days, if you don't heed to it, then trust me, your stations will be closed down. And if you have that kind of perception in mind that I have connection to me, you'll be there to come and close your station. Because you're supposed to pay something to the government. It is through this small dues, and just say as a country.
Right.
So if you're refusing to pay, then what's next? People are saying that freedom of speech, and freedom of the media. We know that the media is supposed to have their freedom to air or disseminate whatever they want to say, but you are supposed to do the right thing. In as much as you are the voice of the people, so you won't do the right thing. You talk on behalf of the government, so you won't you won't go according to the directives of the government. Then what are you? So I feel like they should grab this opportunity and then do the right thing.
Yeah. We have a listening president, and President John Dramani Mahama has put himself, his shoes. He has put himself in the shoes of this radio station and have decided to give them a grace period. That whilst you are airing, make sure you do the needful. Yeah. So that is it. This is where we draw the curtains for the news headline review. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Good morning and many thanks for joining me again on Debbie's Grill, where we talk about matters that concern the state. Now, the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has called for the immediate removal of Jane Mensah-led Electoral Commission, describing the action as a long overdue to a series of electoral infractions. So in an interview, he said he will continue to press for the removal of the commission until a formal petition is filed to trigger the constitutional process. He cited the failure to hold elections in the Guan constituency in 2020, which resulted in the people of Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Lipe going without representation in parliament for 4 years. The situation was only remedied when Fred Agbanyo was elected in 2024. So this is basically from the National Democratic Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Now we all know that it's been almost 4 to 5 months now since we had a new administration on board. But then some constituency do not have a representative, and that has to do with the Ablekuma North. They don't have a representative as it stands now. And we've been, speaking about this, but we've been speaking about this for quite some time now, And then it looks as if the EC is not listening. But as electoral commissioner, this is your role, this is your field. This is the main reason why you've been appointed, to ensure that every constituency has a representative, in as much as it is the constituent that are going to vote for whoever they want them to represent them in that particular constituency. It is your role to also ensure that the election is fair without being rigged. It is your responsibility to ensure that the election is not being manipulated by a particular political party or political members. So how come at the end of elections we heard a lot of news? People were saying that the pink sheet, I mean the raw one, or the pink sheet that is supposed to be the correct one, has been faked. They can't find that. And the one that they have seen is actually a fake pink sheet. It's like a photocopy of the original pink sheet. And this, who are we going to blame? Because this is what the Electoral Commission is supposed to do. You are supposed to ensure that all these things are in their rightful places. If it is the pink sheet, you ensure that this is the original one. And that is why the EC does not work alone. The EC has its own subordinate that works hand in hand with her. And it's been a couple of months. We have 2 people representing the Ablekuma North. And as it stands, I'll go and see. Their banners, their billboards have been, posted around, thanking the constituents for voting for them. Now, as a constituent, you don't even know who is the winner, because the 2 of them are claiming to be a representative for that constituency. And it looks as if the EC is sleeping, because we don't see anything from here. I didn't even hear anything from here. I don't know whether there was a press, but then I know that after the election, there was some form of communication that the election was somehow rigged, in a way being manipulative, and so they are taking proactive measures. And up to now, I don't know whether they've not finalized on the measures to take. And we have a lot of top officials calling on the EC to rerun the election. And up to now, so you're in Tishy. And this was the same thing that happened at Sao. Central Coffee, they had no representative. Akpafu, they had no representative. Likpe, they had no representative. For 8 good years, they had no representative. Till this just ended election, where they voted for a representative, and then God willing, as it stands now, they have someone representing them. With this, how do we want us to develop as a country? And when we are talking about the development of a country, it's not about developing only Greater Accra. No. When the constituents are developed, automatically the country is developing. Because it is this constituent that sum up to be a whole country. Or that sum up to be a complete country on its own. And so when this constituency are being lagged behind in development, then automatically the country is not developing. The progress will be retarded. And that is what we are seeing. I'm sure if voting for member of parliament is not too necessary, then I'm not sure we are going to queue to vote for people. And I know the people of Ablekuma North need a representative. So they went to vote for the person they want. They went to stand under a scorching sun to vote. And then at the end of the day, you come telling us that there have been a mistake somewhere. And up to now, we don't even know what is going on. Whether there's going to be a rerun of the election, whether Able Kumanov will have no representative. Every place is quiet. No one is talking. The EC is not speaking. She is quiet. And these are the questions people are asking. Is the office of the EC being intruded by some political parties? As to whether they are being intruded by a political party or not is up to the EC. But even if something of that sort is going on, you are supposed to speak up, because just as we have the office of the OSP, who is not supposed to be intruded by any political party, that particular office is a solemnly independent. And that is the same thing that has to do with the EC. EC, you are an independent office, an independent body. You are supposed to work as a neutral entity. Because the work you are doing, it has to do with two political parties. And if you're not careful, instead of you doing what you're supposed to do, they will not tell you what to do as an entity, which is not supposed to be so. And as it stands now, we are being forced to believe that that is what is going on. If not that, then why are we not hearing anything? If you feel like when you declare the result of the past election is going to bring chaos, then let's rerun it. Let them go and vote again. You make it so transparent. Everybody is there with tight security operatives around. If you are supposed to be inside, be inside. But the door should be transparent. No one should be allowed in. You are outside, but then you are watching everything that is going on. If someone should be allowed in, then it should be a security personnel. Because it will be sad if this year passes away. The next year comes, we are not talking about it. Another year comes, we are not talking about it. We'll be here, and then this current administration term will end, and there will still be no representative at Ablekuma North. Silence means consent. But as for this one, your silence is a whole lot. So if there is something we are supposed to know as a country, maybe we are rather not getting you properly, then you should come out and clear the air. Because it's not right. If all constituencies have a representative and one constituency does not have a representative, how do they enjoy the national cake? Even with the representatives we have, what we are supposed to see, we are not seeing it. And then you talking about a whole constituency not having a representative, then imagine what is going to happen there. And to all those political parties that in one way or the other are intruding in this whole case, you better stay aside and allow the EC function. And to the EC, well, I'm so sorry, because if this will continue, then we have to call for your removal, just as Asedun Ketia is saying. Thank you for making time with me on the Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie. Miss Regina, give us today in history, please.
All right, so today in history, Theodosia Salome Oko was born on this day, 30th June 1922. She was a Ghanaian teacher and artist known for designing Ghana's national flag in 1957. She exhibited her artwork internationally. She also played a leading role in the development of hockey in Ghana. A notable stateswoman, Oko served as the first female chairman of the Ghana Hockey Association During her tenure as chair, Ghana qualified for both the Hockey World Cup and the Olympic Games. Robert C. Weaver delivered his speech, "The Negro as an American." The speech delivered by Weaver was focused on the topic of Black Americans and their identity within the larger American context. The speech addressed themes of citizenship, the American dream, and the role of leadership in achieving equality. 1950 today in history. South Africa implements the Group Areas Act. South Africa enacted the Group Areas Act, a key piece of legislation during the apartheid era, which legally mandated racial segregation in urban areas. This act divided cities into zones exclusively for specific racial groups like whites, colored, Indians, and blacks. It was a major pillar of the apartheid system of racial segregation and oppression. Today is observed as International Albinism Awareness Day. It celebrates the rights of human beings born with albinism and aims to increase awareness and understanding of this genetic condition. So albinism is also publicly or popularly known as Ofri. To some, did you know the specks on strawberries are single seeds called achins? The seeds on strawberries are technically tiny fruits called achins, each containing a single seed inside. While they appear as specks on the surface, they are the actual fruits of the strawberry. Did you also know that Wi-Fi was accidentally invented during a search for black holes? 1990s, Dr. John Sullivan, an Australian engineer working with the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, was researching ways to detect radio waves from exploding black holes. He and his team developed a mathematical technique called fast Fourier transforms to clean up distorted radio signals from space. Though it didn't help find black holes, that same method turned out to be perfect for transmitting data wirelessly without interference, which became the foundation of Wi-Fi. And that's all for today in history and Did You Know, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Blessed, for that fascinating flat. I got to learn a lot today. Anyways, we'll talk about that back door. All right, and this is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Right after this, we'll be going for the news, and right after the news, we'll be coming your way with the second segment. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news right here on GTR.
morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast live on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up, Member of Parliament for Ebrim criticized Minister for Communication over media closures. The New Patriotic Party's Akosua Menu criticized the National Democratic Congress economic policy as deception. The Ghana Chamber of Mines pushes for swift justice in Galamsey cases. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association to decide fate of nationwide nurses strike. These and many more coming up shortly in business, sports and showbiz. Do stay with us. The Member of Parliament for Ebrim has expressed concern over the recent closure of several media houses, emphasizing their beneficial role in promoting democracy by disseminating news within local communities. He criticized the Minister for Communication on an apparent inconsistency in his stance on media freedom. The Member of Parliament described the 30-day grace period given to the affected media houses as a mere formality and setting. He underscores the benefit of a free press in promoting democracy and holding those in power accountable. This was after the Minister of Communication announced the closure of 64 media houses.
True that the media is the fourth estate of the realm. And then within our democratic dispensation, Mr. Speaker, we know the role the media has played and continues to play in entrenching multi-party democracy, in entrenching democracy in our country. Mr. Speaker, if I listen to the minister, I get the impression that we are about to monetize free speech in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, in our communities, Mr. Speaker, in our communities, we all represent constituencies as we sit here. And we know the roles these community radio stations play. So even if you talk about commercial radio stations and TV stations, I wouldn't bother too much. But what about the community radio stations? You've listed about 62 radio stations and radio and TV stations. Most of them are community radio stations. If you stop them from broadcasting, how do we communicate to our communities in Ghana? Mr. Speaker, the 1992 Constitution did introduce freedom of speech and then expression, including that of the media. This minister, this honorable minister, when he was at the opposite side, was the #1 person who went all over the place complaining about the decisions that were taken against some of these same radio stations and TV stations that flouted the law. Now what has changed? Mr. Speaker, what has changed? If you plan to give these radio stations clemency, as is rightly said, then why do you go ahead to issue a statement saying that you are banning these radio stations, then within 3 minutes you do a 360 to say that you are not giving them clemency and that you're giving them a grace period? Mr. Speaker, these are settings. We think that the decision is arbitrary. There was no need for the initial statement to ban these radio stations. You could as well have gone round or...
Moving on, the former New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate for Adenta, Akosua Menu, has criticized the National Democratic Congress 24-hour economy policy, calling it a prime example of political deception. According to her, the policy is a political campaign slogan designed to win elections. She accused the NDC of making empty promises to deceive the public, referring it as an ingenuous initiative.
The 24-hour economy is a textbook example of political deception. Yes. an empty promise, a big empty promise disguised as transformation.
You think so?
Yes, I believe so. Because if they believed in it, would have found it in the budget. All it is a slogan. That's what it is. When we championed one district, one factory, it found expression in the budget. When we said free SHS, it found expression in the budget. 24-hour economy, you can't preach 24-hour economy and not allocate resources to core sectors of the economy. So we are talking energy, we are talking health, transport, manufacturing,
security.
Energy, afterthought, de-levy. It was an afterthought. Otherwise, in March, when Ato was forcing, he would have put it in a budget. Health. They dismissed any concerns as far as these negotiations are concerned. Here we are now with nurses on strike. So how do you preach a 24-hour economy when energy, health, manufacturing, you haven't laid out any plan for it, but you expect that magically everything will fall into place? It's you see, people will slowly awaken to the fact that they've been lied to and they've been taken for granted. As I said here, I say it's always difficult even highlighting the ills of this government because we just came off from an election with a very humiliating defeat as far as our expectations were concerned. So anything we say, it's like, oh, you just gave you opportunity, whatever. But when we are highlighting the problems, we are not taken seriously.
Moving on, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Dr. Ken Ashegbi, has emphasized the need for judges to expedite the handling of illegal mining cases. According to him, this will help mitigate the devastating environmental impact of such activities. By fast-tracking illegal mining cases, Dr. Ashegbi believes the judiciary can play a crucial role in deterring such activities and protecting the environment. The Ghana Chamber of Mines reflects the industry's commitment to responsible and sustainable mining practices by working together with the judiciary and other stakeholders to ensure Ghana's natural resources are exploited in a manner that benefits the economy and the environment.
It is ecocide with debilitating consequences. The devastating effect of Galamsey are plain to see. Polluted rivers, devastated farmlands, severe health and medical predicament, shattered communities, amongst others. We are at a critical juncture where the urgency of combating illegal mining cannot be overstated. It's our collective responsibility to act swiftly and decisively. Yet justice often arrives too slowly, and in some cases we do not see the matter being adjudicated to serve as effective deterrent. We therefore appeal to the judiciary to prioritize and expedite the prosecution of mining-related cases, especially those involving environmental degradation and breaches of licensing regulation. Justice delayed in this matter is not merely justice denied, it is national development destroyed and public confidence eroded. Your support is critical. We acknowledge the complexities involved in prosecuting illegal mining offenses, from evidentiary hurdles to interagency coordination challenges. That is why programs such as this is a vital one. They lay the foundation for judicial consistency, enhance interpretive clarity, and promote stronger collaboration between the judiciary and the key stakeholders, including the regulatory bodies, law enforcement agencies, and the mining industry itself. Let me reiterate that the Ghana Chamber of Mines stand fully committed to supporting the effective enforcement of our laws. We stand ready to support the judiciary through information sharing, capacity building engagement, and strategic collaboration, ensuring that our legal ecosystems remain strong and responsive, sustaining the mining sector through the rule of law. Our vision is to establish a mining sector founded on transparency, legality, maximization of intergenerational benefit for all stakeholders through responsible stewardship and sustainability. This vision is unattainable without a robust and responsive judicial system. The passage of Act 1036 and the amendment of Act 703 signify Ghana's determination to reform its legal architecture. But laws alone are not enough. Their consistent and effective application and enforcement is what brings life to them. We encourage the bench to set precedents that would deter impunity and encourage lawful conduct across the value chain. We see this training as the beginning of a deeper partnership, one rooted in mutual respect and shared vision for a prosperous Ghana. I extend sincere appreciation to the leadership of the Judicial Training Institute and every participant here. We applaud your commitment to justice and your willingness to enhance our capacity in these critical legal domains. Together, let us forge a legal and institutional framework that safeguards our resources, empowers our communities, and ensures prosperity of all our citizens. Thank you very much.
Moving on, the fate of the nationwide nurses strike now rests with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association leadership. According to the chair of Parliament Health Committee, Dr. Mark Nawan, a stakeholders meeting with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association yielded a positive outcome. However, the final decision on the strike will be made at the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association upcoming National Council meeting. The leadership will make a final decision on the strike after consulting with its National Council. Speaking to the media, this is what they said.
I want to thank the leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association and say that we are very happy that they honored our invitation. And the same thing goes to the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Finance, and Fair Wages. They were all in to assist us. And of course, my committee members, the honorables, all of them were here. And we must say that we've been sitting down for the past 4 hours, from 10 o'clock up to 2 o'clock. And we've had a very fruitful negotiations. We've tried to understand each other. We have tried as much as possible to synchronize our activities. And now, what we can say at this moment is that the discussions were fruitful, and we've asked, or the nurses have requested that they have to go back to their council. By their regulations, they have to go back to their council, and then we'll come back. Or they will come back. Or we'll hear something from them. I think that is fair. If the Bushapenis to send you to go and lead a discussion, you have to bring back the information to them first before any other issue can come out. So at this juncture, I know that you want some information more than this, but let's just exercise it.
The Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology local has sounded the alarm over a potential controversy surrounding the appointment of a new registrar at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The issue rises from conflicting dates regarding the registrar's retirement. According to KNUST Council, the position will become vacant on August 1st, but a university notice indicates the registrar's retirement date as October 31st. This discrepancy has raised concerns about the transparency and legitimacy of the appointment process. They assert that the early advertisement of the position might be influenced by ulterior motives, potentially undermining the rights of the current registrar and disregarding standard procedures.
Members of the Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana, TUGH, KNUSC local, are compelled to draw the national attention to a grave negligence on the part of the Governing Council of KNUST in connection with the appointment of the registrar of the university. The KNUST Council has announced that the position of the registrar of the university shall become vacant on 1st August 2025. Meanwhile, the council, through the University Recorder, number 550, April to June 2024, volume 59, number 6, page 13, indicated that the current registrar of the university will retire from office on 31st October 2025. The union want to state that per this advert and recorder published, KNUSC is going to have 2 registrars from 1st August to 31st October 2025. The union further want to state that this is negligent on the part of the University Governing Council, which has never occurred in the history of the university before, that KNUSC is going to have 2 registrars at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, we therefore call on the Minister of Education and the Director General of the GTech to immediately intervene by suspending all processes leading to the appointment of the registrar and set up a committee to investigate why such incidents has occurred. The union hope that the intervention of the Minister of Education and Director General of GTech will bring transparency and fairness in the appointment of the registrar of KNUST. Thank you.
The head of Trade and Working Capital at ABSA Ghana, Emmanuel Mensah, emphasizes the need for resilient economic policies in the country. He says the country's politics should protect its citizens from global economic shocks. Mr. Mensah argues that Ghana should not continue to suffer from crises that it did not create. He stressed that resilient policies will help Ghana navigate global economic challenges without severe impact on its citizens. By developing resilient policies, Ghana can reduce its vulnerability to global economic fluctuations and create a more stable environment for its business and citizens.
We've seen such tensions in the past. Okay. As a country, I think we are too late, and maybe I'll say it's never late. We are too late in time in strategizing and trying to navigate this maze of geopolitics. And I like the point Michael indicated where he says we need to build trade intelligence. We have Ghana Statistical Service. What can they do? It's good to have a handle on your economic data points and do research and all that. But we should be taking keen interest in what is happening in other people's backyard. And that should guide us in navigating. I believe if we had these and is informing policy strategies, this wouldn't be much of a challenge for us. We are just caught in the web because we are really not prepared as a country to navigate. Wonderful.
In business, the International Monetary Fund has described as prudent the government's decision to increase the energy sector levy on each litre of petroleum products in the country. The IMF argues that if the move could help in reducing the energy sector debt and improve Ghana's fiscal deficit situation, then the initiative should be welcome. Speaking at the news conference in Washington, D.C., the Director of Communications at the IMF, Julius Kozak, says these new measures will help generate additional resources to tackle challenges in Ghana's energy sector. We also believe that this will help boost Ghana's ability to deal with the fiscal challenges, the Director of Communications added. President John Dramani Mahama last Thursday, June 5th, signed the revised energy sector levy. This was after it was passed by Parliament. This paved the way for the Ghana Revenue Authority to start enforcing the levy from June 6th. However, following implementation challenges expressed by the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, the Ghana Revenue Authority was forced to defer the levy's introduction to July 16th. Based on these new revisions, consumers of petroleum products will be paying 1.96 as the revised energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy on each litre of fuel sold at the pumps. The Chamber of Oil marketing companies warned that enforcing the levy will result in the average price of petrol moving from 11 per litre about 13 per litre. Speaking at the press conference, the Director of Communication at the IMF also announced that IMF board is expected to consider Ghana's fourth review report under the extended credit facility arrangement in early July 2025. She added that if the board approves the staff report, that could lead to the release of some $370 million to Ghana. According to Madam Kozak, subject to the executive board approval, Ghana will have access to $370 million, bringing the total IMF financial support disbursed under the program since May 2023 to $2.355 billion. However, some persons close to the source said the disbursement will be made immediately to the Bank of Ghana's account immediately the board approves the fourth review report. The International Monetary Fund has maintained that since the beginning of the year, the new authorities have taken bold measures to address policy and reform slippages and ensure achievement of program objectives. This includes enacting a strong budget and public financial management reforms, tightening monitoring policy, and adjusting electricity prices. To sports, Accra Heart of Oak Sporting Club Director of Communications Kwame Opare-Addo has stated that the club is attaching a ton of seriousness to the President's Cup. The team will compete in the next month. Heart will battle arch rivals Kumasi Asante Kotoko for the chance to win the 2025 President's Cup. The event will be held at the Accra Sports Stadium on July 6th. Hearts are winless against Kotoko in the last 5 games. Speaking at the launch of the competition in the presence of Director of the Ministry of Sports and Recreation, Williams, and Ghana League Clubs Association President John Ansah, Opare-Addo highlighted how serious the Phobia Club is about the upcoming event. Hearts and Kotoko finished 4th and 3rd respectively in the 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League campaign, and the President clarified that the choice of participating teams is the prerogative of the sitting President of the country.
I think that for us as a club, it's a big honor that we've been invited to participate in the competition that is to honor the sitting President. We are going to make sure that even though the team is on break, because we attach seriousness to this particular assignment, the team is going to get back on the 19th and then start preparation to ensure that at the end of it all, we send the Hasbro family back with positive news. Thank you very much.
In showbiz, the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ablajifa Gomashi, has called for greater innovation and dynamism to attract more visitors to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. She emphasized the need to reimagine the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in ways that resonate with present-day audiences, while preserving the core values and virtues that define his vision. As a proud admirer of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and what he stood for, I believe there are creative ways to revisit and reinterpret his deals so they remain relevant to current and future generations. The park must be a living, breathing space where the spirits of the Black Stars continue to inspire, the minister said. The minister made these remarks during a meeting with the acting executive director of the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Dr. Collins Rawlings. The meeting was held to provide a comprehensive update on the state of the park and to outline pressing matters requiring the ministry's attention. Dr. Nyonam briefed the minister on key operational updates, current challenges and plans to revitalize the park's offerings. He highlighted efforts to enhance visitor experience while safeguarding the historical integrity of the site. The discussion centered on strategies to improve revenue generation and align the park's operations with the government vision of a 24-hour economy. He also outlined proposals for immersive cultural experience and interactive installations designed to deepen public engagement with Ghana's heritage and Kwame Nkrumah's legacy. These initiatives, he said, will transform the park into a vibrant cultural hub and a mass visit destination for both local and international tourists. The minister expressed her full support for the proposed innovations, reaffirming her ministry's commitment to ensuring the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park stands tall as a beacon of Ghanaian pride and historical significance. And that's how we wrap up for now on the morning news broadcast. My name is Deborah Adosu. Do all to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news updates. Do have a good morning.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brell, our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Or you singer and now you're a rapper, you think say you get bars, you go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and you say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app no, our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, go Instagram, any Ghana Talks Radio page in this. So now listen, I bet you fire 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adosu,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. My name is Pakwesi Omare. I greet you a very beautiful good morning to wherever you are listening to us and watching us from. It's a Friday edition, the weekend edition. You know how packed and loaded it gets on Friday on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Earlier on, you had a newspaper review from the beautiful ladies. You had the Debbie's Grill. You had Today in History with Regina. Then you had the news with Deborah again. And now we are in here to serve you the best of dishes you can never have for your breakfast. Before we get into that, I want to wish a very special person a happy birthday. This person is so special and dear to me. She's done so much for me. She's my favorite auntie. I have so many aunties, okay, but she is the favorite because she's even the favorite of all her sisters. She's the last born of my aunties and my uncles. She's a good person with a good heart. She's so kind, so selfless, very disciplined, very God-fearing. She's taught me so much. She's given me so many advices to become who I am today and to be where I am today. And on her special day, I want to wish her a beautiful happy birthday as herself. And God has so much in store for you. God has planned so much for you. There is so much coming your way that you have no idea how it's going to unfold. And this day, all I pray, as you continue to be the kind person that you are, the selfless person that you are, the mother that you have become, to Inshira, Aseda, the big head, to Mami Ayeyi, to Obrempong, and to myself, we all want to wish you a beautiful birthday. God bless your new age. May God expand your territories, and may God keep you under the shells of His glory. We love you, Mrs. Jelfina Owusu. We love you. Enjoy your day. Your gift will come. Your parcel will come very soon. Don't worry. And then me pompe no pa. Na parcel network. So why? Auntie J. So yeah, that's my auntie, my favorite auntie. And it's her birthday. I just wished her. If you want me to wish your auntie to bring her profile, let me see if she's good or she's bad. If she's good, I won't wish her. If she's bad, I can mention all her bad things and wish her in addition for you. Now, getting into the conversations today, I have the hot wire in the political space in the person of Mr. Kuma Prince. They say they are no journey in Ejina so share. Obie na no ana political space no obi a home popo. You see, hey, akwana babi mo. But yes, I have Prince in the studios with me, and Mr. Archer Bexon will be joining us very soon to get the conversations ongoing. Wherever you are too, you can join the conversation on all our social media platforms at GhanaTalks Radio, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on X. On our YouTube channel is GhanaTalks Radio. Our WhatsApp line is 0202 544 614. 0202 544 614. Our website is www.ghanatalksradio.com. www.ghanatalksradio.com. Prince.
Yes, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Is this your idea? Yes, you're joining in our Okuta. The news are major in town.
Amen. Yeah. At least we identify with Sami Jamfi.
Yeah.
It's a very good thing. At least I know you cry. It's not a bronye, so that I have every cause to go and think about it. It's Sami Jamfi, and we can all attest to the fact that Sami Jamfi has redefined political communication in Ghana. You may not really like him, but you cannot also run away from the fact. So it's a great pleasure to be identified with Sami Jamfi, and I'm so proud of that.
That's great to hear. To hear. And good morning to the man Sami Jamfi, wherever he is this morning. We give you your accolades.
You're very fantastic.
Your godsons are giving you your accolades on Ghana Talks Radio. Prince is your godson.
Yes.
But yes. Prince, why bring Abronye? Why? So if I had said that they knew Abronye, you wouldn't have accepted it.
I don't. You see, Abronye is somebody that's a populist. Abronye is somebody who, based on his, let me say, catastrophic performance in the region, taking a region from 11 is to 1. As in, they were having about 10 seats, we were having 1. Now today they are having only 1 seat. Because NDC, the only seat we had in Bono region was Bandai seats, right? Today, as we speak, they only have 1 in the region. So in order to divert attention from his worst performance in the region, he has embarked on making some blatant claims just so that he will gain recognition in the party. So such people, I mean, why do you want to identify with them? With the greatest of respect. So, I mean, I do not, I'm talking based on his performance, not against his personality, right? So I don't hold issues against people. The only point I make is that I believe that people like that, but I don't think even Yawake comes in, MPP communicator. They say that, Yawake, I'm doing well like Abronye. I don't think you will say that. Maybe you can say maybe Denis Apia Labi or maybe Kojo Ponkroma, something like that.
So you don't even think I would love to be identified with Abronye?
When he comes.
Yeah, on Tuesday, I'll identify you with Abronye.
You will not think that. You will never think that. Especially when you know where it is going to. He's on the other side. Someone is on the other side. Abronye, well, it is fine.
It is fine. It is well. And yeah, to Yawake, we greet you on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show this morning. One fine, gentle communicator as well.
Yeah,
I like him. I like him. Prince.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into the nitty-gritties of today, the nurses, how far with them?
I think I've not spoken on this topic before. Yeah. We want to plead with them because we cannot assume an arrogant posture in addressing this issue. Great. But the minister has extended a hand of invitation to come to the negotiating table. But it does appear that their leadership has taken an entrenched position, which they are unwilling to compromise. But when it comes to negotiation too, there should be some level of like new compromise and be able to meet a halfway. I think that's the way to go. Looking at the agreement somewhere last year, I'm not trying to, justify government inability to fulfill their promises. But what I'm saying is that they should be able to come to the negotiation table and see how best this issue can be addressed. Because information reaching us is that if you go to Kuala Lumpur, people are being discharged. Right.
Because there are no nurses.
There are nurses to take care of them. And I think it's very unfortunate. We all know how delicate their job is or their profession is. So anytime they threaten government, government begin to wonder. And I don't think retirees nurses is a solution to this. Of course, the minister made that comment because of the heat of the moment. Because there's no way a retiree nurse will come. They believe that we need to be able to respect our professionals in this country, teachers and nurses. That not also to suggest that you should also, based on how delicate your profession is or how sensitive your profession is, take advantage of that and be doing all manner of things. I understand their concerns. We respect their concerns. We appreciate the challenges that they go through. I was in Kuala Lumpur. Some of them, what they go through isn't easy. What they need to even work with, they don't have. So I will not, because they are after my government come and sit here, they say they don't go through some challenges. I am the firm belief that when it comes to even nurses, they are not paid well in this country. But when it comes to the allowances, what I saw, the names, if it's true, wow. You see, I don't have a problem with you demanding a higher salary. But in your attempt to increase your salary by introduce all manner of allowances, some of them are like, hey.
Do you think their demand is, quite outrageous as people?
To some extent, but right now I don't want to go into that much. I just want to beg them.
You want to beg them to come?
To please come, because yes, we all have to fight the cause that their salary has to be increased. I have the view that at least a nurse should be paid around 5,000 at least for the work that they do. You see, I was in Marginal Hospital with my brother, and there's this old woman that was there. I think for about 6 months, according to the nurses, they don't know the relatives. Every day they have to clean that woman.
Wow.
Yes, in fact, I said I cannot be a nurse. Go what they go through and what they see. Sometimes patient disturbing them. A whole lot, seriously.
And they really get disrespected by some of these patients.
Yes.
Very, very disrespected.
Even now we have some unprofessional ones who also disrespect patients. I'm saying that per what I've seen with my eyes, what nurses go through in this country is not an easy thing. So I believe that government to have their interests, in high esteem. So they should be willing to engage government. This I would say politics wouldn't help us. We all know how this where it's coming from, but I don't want to go into that much. I want to please beg them to come, right, to a negotiation table. The minister is willing to, engage them and listen to them.
Okay.
But this whole idea of we won't go, I don't think it's helpful, because today if I'm sick and I go to the hospital, the doctors alone cannot take care of me.
Sure.
So we respect their role in the nation building. We respect the fact that without them, we can lose our life anytime.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't also take advantage of how important they are to the country to be doing at this. I'm not saying that their demands should not be addressed.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is that we are begging them to please come to the negotiation table.
Sir.
If not, maybe I'm sure very soon you can even volunteer to go and work in the hospital. But I want to plead with their leadership. I think some nurses are even willing to go, but because of the leadership, they are home.
Sure.
When they agree to go, government will also make sure they expedite processes to be able to make those payments. And I think President Mahama will do that. So let's all take time. Let's exercise some patience. And I want to plead with some of our NDC communicator. We are in government. So sometimes people provoke you, but let's be measured. Let's exercise some restraint in the kind of words that we put out. Because when they decide not to go, we cannot arrest them. They are liberty to do whatever they want. You realize NLC, National Labour Commission, declaring their strike, illegal. But yet they are still at home. So if all nurses in Ghana decide not to go to the hospital, trust me, it's not going to be an easy thing. And once people start dying in this country, the pressure that will be on government is not an easy thing. But I'm not also saying that they should take advantage of that. I'm only saying that we should be measured in our words. Although I'm not pleased with what they are doing.
Sure.
But we want to beg them to please come and help us. Yes.
Okay, that's fair. I think we spoke about the data prices here. Not yet. Okay. Yes. But we all go through the heat when it comes to buying data. And we saw how people were bashing the Minister for Communications, in the person of Honorable Sam George, because of his stance and his posture whilst he was in opposition. So when he assumed office, people were expecting him to do the magic. And 5 months, still paying outrageous monies for some, I can even call it a junky data, because
packages.
Yes, it comes in very little packages, and it doesn't even sustain you up to the time that it's supposed to sustain you. And the last 3 days, after so much heat on his neck, he held a press conference to address the issues and give an assurance of some revised and reviewed data packages, which is supposed to commence right from the 1st July. What do you make of that?
I think we all have to commend Sound Data George. Very fantastic minister. He's one of the ministers that has come under, let me say, severe public backlash in the last 4 or 5 months because of data prices. But Sam George was very categorical that he will ensure that data prices have been reduced by the end of this year. So he was very specific.
Okay.
And I understand that people go through it. They want to see immediate interventions. But he was very specific that he want to make sure that data prices are reduced by the end of this year. But in 3 months in office, I'm talking about him as a minister, not as government. The pressure wasn't that easy. But I understand that because maybe he was outspoken in opposition. It's part of why.
Very.
Of course, I understand.
You see, Ghanaians, I always say that Ghanaians are very understanding people. But then, Ghanaians will always bring you back to the receipts. They will judge you based on what you said before. And that's exactly how they held, the standard they held the Honorable Sam George to, because he spoke a lot. Some of his utterances, even it made it seem like, as a Minister for Communication, you can easily direct the telcos to reduce their prices as at when or how you like it.
I understand, but you see, we've made some gains with the exchange rates, helping the telcos, and also the directive given by the minister is something that is profoundly, is to be appreciated by every Ghanaian. Because 15% increase in value, of course, not reduction in prices, but increase in value. So if we're getting to 92 gigabytes and not getting 214 gigabytes, then concerns are being raised about the real value of it. Amount for say although 214 but over you see 5 minutes now. You see, we all experience it. But there's some analysis that is being done in this country. I also think we need to be more analytical. Okay. You see, iPhone 16 and itel 316 or 618 are not the same. Okay. So you can be using Facebook with the same amount of data. iPhone 16 will consume more than what you're consuming. Okay. So we need to, situate the conversation very well. Okay. The kind of device that we used 10 years ago are not the same devices you use now. Okay. Apps like TikTok, the data that they consume cannot be compared to Facebook. So if you are always on TikTok, you don't expect that 2 gigabyte data of use in watching videos on TikTok cannot be the same as using it to watch videos on Facebook. They're not the same. Okay. And people to download apps that are running, at the background. So they are already running. That's why they give you notification even if you don't open the app. So these apps are already taking your data, are already using your data. This is the education I think we have to also do. I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about the rate at which it is diminishing. The data bandits are diminishing. But I'm also saying that we need to also be able to do the comparison very well. Knowing that the application that we used to use or were using some years ago are not the same now. The device that we were using some years ago are not the same. So if I use an iPhone 16, don't expect that you and somebody who is using itel. I'm not trying to degrade any brand, but I'm saying that iPhone 16, the data that you use consume the same content. It's not the same as itel. Okay. So it cannot be using iPhone 16 and think that data will be that easy. Okay. It consumes a lot because of the speed. Okay. And because of its software. So let's not draw that comparison of 5 years ago, 2 gigabytes per we see. 5 years ago, no phone now we see. Now TikTok or Hodabi. Okay. I'm telling you, TikTok. If you have streamed live before or you go on live, you realize that TikTok take a lot of data. Oh, really? Yes, TikTok is one of the other take a lot of data. So please, let's also be measured in the comparison that we do. But I'm not saying that they shouldn't work on that. In fact, some of their services have to work on it. You can be making calls within scratches. I don't know where it's coming from. And all that, you see, it's very unfortunate. And Minister has also made it clear that he's engaging the finance ministry to review the 39% levies on the telecommunications, the COVID, Get Fund, NHIL, and all that, so that their cost of producing this data for us will be reduced. That is why at the end of this year, you will see data prices reducing. Prices not even increasing in value alone, but you see the prices reducing. We all saw what happened under the NPP administration. Of course, I'm a politician, and I must state that fact. We're here in this country. NCA directed MTN to cancel, whether they suspend or cancel Zoom band. It's not the case. Their reason being that they have the largest market base, and then they have to make sure they reduce the prices. If not, they increase the prices so that there can be that competition between them and Airtel, Tigo, or Voda, Telecel, or whatever. But today, we have a minister who has used 4 months to do what Esla also couldn't do in 8 years. As simple as that. Oh, boy. You see, this may seem like so sweet, but the truth of the matter is that St. George knows his stuff. St. George is very competent at the ministry he is. As I said earlier, he was only, criticized left and right simply because of what he said in opposition or how, let me say, quote unquote, loud he was in opposition. But it can also discredit his competence. Well, as far as the ministry is concerned, you could clearly see that there are pragmatic policy measures being put in place to ensure that Ghanaians enjoy better services as far as the telecoms are concerned. So let's all be rest assured. And as I said, NDC government is highly democratic, unlike MPP, where it can be the TV station talking and then some group members can then invade your city. No, St. George was highly criticized on Twitter, X. Yes, and that's what we want. We want constructive criticism. Okay. Put them, into a proper context. Criticize them constructively. Let them know what they should do. Okay. And I think with time we are all going to deliver, because we cannot live in a country where everybody seems to be supporting government on every issue. Okay. In that case, government will become very complacent. Government will think he's doing everything right. We must have voices that will speak the truth to government that you are not doing this right, you must do it this way. And government and President Mahama is not impervious to public opinion or constructive criticisms. He's willing to learn from the good people of Ghana he's serving.
Okay.
At the end of the day, they have been given this power to deliver. I mean, certain things to the benefit of Ghanaians. So at any point in time, if you think you are not enjoying the benefit that is, beneficial or is required of us, we reserve every right to, criticize them. But let's be measured and be constructive.
Okay. Thank you. Today, the anticipation is very high.
Okay.
Because one of the most critical aspects of this government is in their hands, and I'm talking about Ural. The hype that we gave Ural before your government took power, and the action we are seeing with Ural, Charlie, it hasn't been up to expectation. It hasn't met expectation. Every now and then, when we give them heat kakrano, they will come and hold a press briefing, and they go back to sleep. They will just, it's like they are testing the waters. What is going on with Ural? Because see, the last briefing they gave an assurance that in the coming week, that was to be last week or last 2 weeks, there was going to be a shakedown in the NSS Ghost Name scandal. And nothing happened in that week up till now. And today they are coming back with another press briefing. What should we expect? Why has Ural been, I will call it dormant? I'm not seeing the action that is supposed to, provide.
You see, I think it is extremely important that the points must be made forcefully.
Okay.
In no uncertain terms, that President Mahama will not renege on his resolved commitment to recovering or retrieving all our looted assets.
Okay.
I mean, we must be rest assured of that. I firmly believe that our promise or oral promise constituted a significant basis why Ghanaians gave us the overwhelming support in the last election.
Definitely.
So we cannot afford to disappoint them. And I want to also send this caution to some members in the NPP that we will not tolerate any emotional tactics or attempt to sway attention from the core issues. 2 days ago, I chanced on a news item speaking to the fact that some elders in the NPP are planning to go and see President Mahama and beg on Chairman Wontemi's behalf. But, I see it to be, let me say, quote unquote, they think it's smart of them that this is a way to subtly create the impression that Chairman Wontemi was being investigated or is being investigated because of some disdaining comment he made against the president, which is not the case. That's what the impression they want to create. Because it will make you look as though, he was arrested because of those things he said.
So it becomes more of a personal vendetta against him.
Which is not the case, because the issues at hand, what he said, those comments he made, are inconsequential to the issues at hand today. He's being investigated for issues of corruption, money laundering, and all that, which has nothing to do with
what he said.
Some comment he made about somebody, whether it's a witch or any house help. That it's not about that. So please, everybody must be prepared to face the full rigors of the law. These emotional tactics will not be condoned. And I trust in President Mahama's intelligence to handle these issues properly. But I know that he's a politician too, and he knows what they want to do. Already, they have thrown this idea or this notion to the public space that Chairman Wontemi is being investigated or arrested because of something he said on radio, which is not the case. It's completely untrue. So when it comes to ORA is a committee, right? ORA committee was set, that to receive reports, information on issues of corruption, if you have any information. But you see, the Attorney General press conference, they mentioned about press conference. When it comes to criminal prosecution, it takes time. We promised Ghanaians 4 years. I'm not saying you said 4 years that we're going to use to prosecute all the people. But of course, prosecution takes a while. But when it goes to court today, and the court adjourn the case to next 3 months, it means that you have to wait 3 months before you go to the court. Is that not the case? But we promise Ghanaians that in the next 4 years, we'll make sure that every money looted or public funds siphoned will be retrieved. Now, the Attorney General is prosecuting people in the name of the state. The Attorney General is not engaging in private business. So we owe it a responsibility to the good people of Ghana to, at any point in time he deemed necessary, to come and brief us on the progress he has made, whether be it in terms of prosecution or investigations, So the Attorney General holding press conference is nothing untoward, because at the end of the day, he should be able to tell Mr. Omari that this is the progress I've made as far as NSS scandal is concerned. Because in governance, transparency is key.
Okay.
Once you leave a vacuum, people will feel it all manner of jam. So what you need to do as Attorney General is at any point in time, come and tell us, okay, this is how far I've been able to go with this prosecution, investigation to this matter.
Yeah.
So those saying that the Attorney General is engaging in public crucifixion or whatever, I'm unable to wrap my intelligence around it, because look, prosecutors, before you go to court, you must be in the knowledge and you must be, convinced in your mind that your defendant is guilty.
Okay.
That is why every prosecutor wants to gather evidence, lay facts before the court, to prove to the court or prove his defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt to secure conviction. Okay. So it's the Attorney General's responsibility at any point in time it comes to Ghanaians to tell us that my investigations has maybe revealed to me that this person has done this, has transferred money which I believe is illegal.
Okay.
It does not mean I've convicted you, I've judged you. I'm only stating the facts that's available to me.
All right.
I want to assure Ghanaians that President Mahama will not, cut back or cut out on this, mission of making sure that every looted asset of the state will be retrieved.
Okay.
So please, that the press conference today is to once again tell Ghanaians the progress we have made. Some cases are already in court.
Yeah.
Some 2 dockets are being prepared. And as I said here the last time, this Attorney General is not like the one we had some years ago.
Okay.
Who will not gather his facts and go to court and later be calling people to come and testify falsely in court. No. This Attorney General wants to make sure that he gather all his evidences, and when he's prosecuting you, he have a good grounds to stand on.
Okay.
So Ghanaians should be rest assured. But we have made some gains. So let's not make it look as though, I listened to the Deputy Attorney General, where he said people in the past administration have started volunteering or have volunteered to even give us certain information. Okay. It's creating the confidence in this government. And President Mahama has said, should be prepared to face the full wrath of the law. And that will be done in no uncertain terms. So those people in MP who thinks that they have friends in NDC or he can use this emotional tactics of let's go and beg President Mahama. Please, President Mahama has nothing to do with or has no problem with somebody insulting him. No, that's none of his business. His problem has to do with the fact that money belongs into the state. Contract awarded, you couldn't execute it. Come and explain to us why. If there is a need for us to retrieve the money, retrieve it. Whatever insult method to him or held at him, it's between you and him as a private persons. But this one, he's executing state business. Okay. So he's prosecuting you based on a crime committed against the state. So let no one be confused or be worried by the fact that maybe should areas of the MPP go to President Mahama, it will kind of create some sympathy, crisis. That will not happen. We are going to make sure that every appointee, even in this administration, that you have been fingered in any corruption scandal, will be dealt with according to law. So, Mr. Omari, those of you that also Ghanaians, I understand that Ghanaians are actually desperate. Let me put it that way. Okay. They want to see people being prosecuted, but for criminal prosecution, that people are being volunteers, that they will. That's plea bargaining, all right? Yeah. The minister said plea bargaining. Sure. The reason why we are doing plea bargaining is because look, we have over 1,000 or 500 cases that Attorney General has to deal with. Okay. Now, as an Attorney General, you go to court every day. You have to be chasing this case here and there. Of course, we have lawyers in the name of the state that are doing that. Yeah. Now, at the end of the day, I last mentioned that here, that it's not in the interest of the NDC that people should go to prison. I'm not saying they should not go. I'm only saying that what is of utmost importance to us is that money. If it's $3 million, we want our money. Somebody going to prison, Atayi. Let me say Atayi has stolen Ghana's money, $5 million. Yeah. That Atayi going to prison, give us the money. We are still losing the money. So what is most important to Ghanaians is that if money were giving you, or money was giving you, to go and build a school in Tamale, and didn't go and build, we want the money. Okay. You going to Sawa will not solve the problem. So what is of most important to government now is that the money that we have lost to corruption, we will retrieve it. Okay. Going to prison is secondary matter. Okay. It's not primary. Thank you.
Thank you very much there, Prince. We are fortunate to have Mr. Oche join us in the studios this morning. Mr. Oche, it's been a while.
Sure, very true.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope everything is fine.
Alhamdulillah.
Now, then I know you've been surveying the waves of affairs. How has it been?
Let me take this opportunity to greet your cherished viewers and listeners.
Yeah.
GhanaTalks Radio. And then PK, you're very self. It's been a while, like you rightly said.
Sure.
And I keep saying that it's a room for those who are
yeah.
So once they are all responsibility attached to you, you just have to get it done. So sometimes my absence, yes, you understand it in that vein that there are other things that needs to be taken care of. That is why.
Sure.
PK, I think things are happening. President Mahama, Obuma,
okay.
The good, the bad, the ugly. Observers too are watching from afar. And I am happy of the fact that Nana Addo Dankwa made a brilliant statement during his inaugural speech that he wants everybody to be citizens but not spectators.
Okay.
And I believe that this government too is giving room for same. They don't want anybody to just sit on the fence.
Okay.
You have to be active participant in governance.
Surely.
Because the John Dramani Mahama we know, Webu mind pain. A toast, Ghanaian saw it.
Okay.
And they showed him an exit. Okofi Kototon in Yomaye, and they called him back again to come.
Okay.
So this time round, we are expecting him to succeed. And we are expecting him to do things right.
Yeah.
Nti nyoma be a metete contract be so SWA government and nti people are raising red flags around it, and his attorney general is making a move around it. I think that is the way to go.
Okay.
That is the way. I always say that if there is a perceived corruption, let's go in out there to ascertain the fact for ourselves.
Okay.
I was saying something that because people most of the time want power, they want to say anything just to capture power.
Okay.
But then when you attain the power, let the reality dawn on the people. Let them know that same way I make a kind me too one among.
Okay.
So by and large, for me, some of the move that the current government is doing, that is the way to go.
Okay.
Ghanaians wants to know whether you are just saying something, so to put it, to defame the name of the old administration, just for you to get power. Bring the facts to bear.
Okay.
Let us know. So things are happening. Kasa Bebre Koso. But let me send this caution to the party folks. You say the fall of the green leaf is a warning to the dry ones.
Wow.
You see how now MPP, they are dealing with them because NDC is in power. That is the way to go.
Okay.
But Kai said the table with 10. Into BBR, they are all Biano. Once you have power today, now the table turns and they are taking you through same rudiment. I don't want to hear that brofubina attack as a witch hunting. Because Obia didn't say there's the need to go all out there to go and retrieve the money.
Okay.
So if NDC is doing same today, going after MPP people that they think you are supposed to do A, B, C, D, and then you fail to do, and today we have power, we want the Ghanaians to know that this is what transpired. Perfect. Because like I say, we have a country to govern. Okay. And it's it's good so that you help accrue whatever money that went into wrong hands.
Okay.
So that tomorrow, when we are singing same songs to you, you begin to dance accordingly. So that doesn't happen as if, hey, power turning anything and then they are chanting us. Whatever is being done to the MPP is deserving.
Okay.
Because there should be value for money. Look at the poor Kaya who is moving through the principal street of Accra, carrying things on his head or her head. Now we try tickets, man. All in the name say he wants to put body and soul together. Nebe gada saska we na dia kogu consolidated fund. All in the name that buane de achichiro mine. Na individual. Obe find any means possible. Says he kaya brajejeno. Not in album. And you go scot free. And you see, some of these things is making politics attractive to everybody.
Okay.
Thinking that if you want to get wealth overnight, venture into politics.
Okay.
And within a space of time, just 4 years, you'll be well to do. So when things begins to happen this way, it will make politics unattractive venture.
Okay.
Because the never ban was who did there. Or China table ne 10 years no wait in beba abeche the loopholes ne see no so that we come after you. So me by and large, it is good. The move President John Dramani Mahama is taking through his Attorney General and any relevant body, that is the way to go.
Okay.
Nemum sanyum no ye born or China so and he said nefu babesu. Monsa sasa na.
Sure. Thank you very much, there, Mr. Ochi. Now, getting into the conversations for today, one of the cankers, like I say, Afibia Yekomu, every Sikasem has been ghost names, and I think in 2015, it was basically one of the most populated agendas or wisely put how do we call it? Let me get the right name. I'm sorry. Oh, let's say campaigns of the NPP that they were going to resolve that menace when they assume power, or if they are handed the mandate to run the affairs of the country. And see, we saw them making some moves with the Ghana card. It will help in curbing this menace and all that. Fast forward, after 8 years, a new administration takes over, and there are still complaints of ghost names. We've heard ghost names from the oral committee, which happened in the NSS scandal. Just last 3 days, the Minister of Finance is complaining rigorously about ghost names in government payroll. Like, how do we, after all these years, even so-called measures put in place to fight this menace, still come back to this thing? And what should be the actual roadmap to ending this corruptive act?
PK, thank you. You see, Ghana how every system default, somebody stands to benefit.
Okay.
In every system default, someone stands to benefit. Until whilst you are positioning things and making sure that everything is played and played fairly. Obisi so tinachire hwehwe loophole ne den. And so that is where the expertise was. He's always looking for where the loophole will be, just to punch hard at that place. No so he will go to enjoy his or her benefit from that end. But at the end, who suffers? It is the country. Our mind in a bre. If there is a ghost, Sebi a bad thing so between us so ghost in seven. But ghost na owu no owu de ne ba fie bi na ba ba de da no ho. Okay, that sani pa no owu na so ba be ghost no. He was human being no fie abusu bi no owu ye. And the kokosie no na ne wada ne samai. And one word the other operate a ebinum a omonim how this spiritual thing operate omonim e fie ofim.
Okay.
The point is both the NDC and the MPP, they're extremely guilty of this.
Why do you say that?
Thank you. We hear this language being spoken at all time. There's a panacea. Fix it and let's make progress. And you see, and people will come and they will lament same and we go. NDC will come. They are also lamenting on same problem. PK. Ombeja wako.
Do you think?
But they have what it takes to work around it, or even say to me achieve 100% of it, we can make progress.
Okay.
So thankfully we are now in the digital space, whereby Sebi, I always say that Ghana, say a Ghana card in po, a kamako akoye to say when Nibia heaven crank or bed, because everything is centered around our Ghana card. Oh, yes. And the Ghana card, PK, you and I, the features I was no mean to mean Jody and Fan Conquest.
Definitely.
Also to mean Jimmy Medium Fan Conquest Bibia. And until we have a system as Somaya Boka, ye dear Dijuma, Sami and they are family mama, all my biodata and my details ought to go into a system. And the system should give a fair update about who truly I am.
Okay.
So that even if I live under the surface of the earth, unkonya will be a friend Bernard Ochebekson. Because I'm Benjamin Ochebekson and somebody is Bernard Ochebekson, the person is replaced in my name. Whilst Ogusu ADD or Memidi. Why should that be? Because it is a big drain to a minor.
Very
Big drain. Cause a big financial loss to the country. Because how can you pay somebody who is not working?
Where does the money go?
Sikano coin.
Are they saying that the monies are not traceable?
Bro, let's be any auditors. You see, your mind be you're very interesting people. You need the solution. But we dance around it and people will come on back. NDC will come and they will do same and they will leave. But meanwhile, until I make I say because it's a system defect and somebody stand to benefit, they will never solve it once and for all. So they will create the impression for Ghanaians to ask it where Ombeja to say, and no credit. I deal with the and crack and we hard. We can only sympathize with them. But let's stamp our authority on certain things and do what is right. Sabi, let's prosecute people to deter others from doing these things. Yeah, one now crow we move. Say it, say so be to go Korea. Brother, because a common near to me man 20 years. What I say. Now within the strike of the pen, Obi to me is able to go away with the millions of cedis. Now if he say normal, now your channel. Say be a come then party people, I sleep with you, I lie with you, I squat with you. They will be all over out there and then be making this noise. So bro, this canker ought to be eradicated.
Surely. But how? Because is it that they haven't tried or probably they are using the wrong method? And if so, I know you are a security expert yourself. You have brains about all these security measures. What do you think is the right way to go about this issue?
PK, let's have the will. Okay. The willpower.
Okay.
What I say? Se nipa no or 40 and or mabema, yinima na mrano nindi.
Okay.
I always say that. You see, President John Dramani Mahama did something during the Abuga Pele time. No, ona bemu. One shield no. Or pushing se mrano nindi. It is about time we show some of this commitment.
Okay.
Let's deal with our very own, so that to serve as deterrent to others. And back to the question that you asked. Your primary school now, your report to some normal choice, more room for improvement. We are making the move, but let us improve to get it better.
Okay.
Let us improve to get it better, because there is a lot of drains happening.
Seriously.
There's a lot of drains happening because Sabi Obi Wofie onim baby office bi mpo babo so mbeso no or hope na crane na betom na wakoyi no wadi because ono je na obi susu won cart wo ma oji wo. Why are we making Ghana every day? They be I say Ghana na Malaysia no na ade na omusi so emrante all together, and the Ghana ba akokra by force. And Malaysia and the Singapore's are very attractive, and then they are moving on. But that attitude now change on our part. That as a nation we need to work on. We are not. We are not working on that. And then it is a big disservice to us as a nation.
Wow.
Everybody must be up and doing.
Okay.
Let's blow the whistle. If you see something, say something. Baby na koso baby and enye na ube. Don't sit on it. Thankfully, the previous administration made something that is known as right to the information law. It was built in a Bayemra. You can move into any government agency, tell them that into writing, me person will feed me with information on this. You shouldn't be denied. Now let's join the crusade to save the public purse. Because Ghana is bleeding. Ghana is bleeding too much.
Okay. Thank you very much there, Mr. Autry. Prince, you've been laughing. You've been laughing.
You see?
It's very funny, and as you said, it's a recurring topic. We've discussed this over years, and it's quite unfortunate that we are still discussing this today, because the expectation is not that we want to do zero ghost names it cannot happen. Even in advanced democracies, they face similar challenges. But in that case, if you look at the money we are losing to ghost names, the number of people involved, and I'm wondering, and sometimes even the sectors that these things are happening, GES, then I'm wondering, like teachers, payroll fraud. There are several audit reports that speak to the fact that we lose about 100 million Ghana cedis to payroll fraud annual as a country. 100 million Ghana cedis. Just last year, May 2024, realized that OSP and then Controller and Accountant General Department did a joint or collaborative investigation evaluation somewhere in the northern part of Ghana. You recall, saved this country about 34 million Ghana cedis in payroll fraud alone. I mean, I was shocked to read that there are actually a school captured that they had teachers there, but the school never existed. Of course, I see Lankwatanai and Ahayen Kwabenya, Abia MA junior high school. School no can say it's whole.
It doesn't even exist.
Now most school na any one. You watch the chef for my headmaster home. Like how? Me, like I was so shocked. Like if the school even existed, and you are just putting false names or forcing names, falsifying names, that would have made a bit of sense. But the school never existed at all. It doesn't exist. But you go and create a school, artificial school. AI. Like serious. And we need to like prosecute, as my boss rightly said. We need to increase the social cost of this. Beyond that prosecution, we must defame those people. We must put them on TV.
Yes.
Show them this is
You
your
name
name.
and shame
This is where
them.
you're coming from. You have to shame you. Like we have to increase the social cost of doing that. So you know that okay, Mr. Omar, if I go and do it and I chop the money or I spend the money, it's not about just going to prison. Before I go to prison, everybody in Ghana will know who I am. My picture will be shown everywhere that this person was against the state, engaged in payroll fraud. Why should we live in a country, national service? Do you know every man they do verification? Every man, before they pay you, you are working. They know that you are working as a service personnel for the whole year. But they say every man, before we pay you, come and do verification. Some of them is biometric. As my boss says, so when it comes to issues of your eye color, Ghana card has it, your hair, fingerprint. Our fingerprints cried here.
Nobody else can have it.
We don't share same. Everybody has their own unique print. So how come that people are still able to still maneuver their way through the system? But before you can do this, it's a collaboration between somebody at the top and somebody down there.
Exactly.
So sometimes we arrest those down there and the problem keeps coming. So it's hard time, as he said. We need to have that political war to face those people. I always say they are the companies as far as this payroll fraud is concerned. You can't be, if you are losing 100 million Ghana cedis, that 100 million Ghana could have been used to settle these nurses. That's the case.
Easily.
Could have been used to settle them at least. Not all can use it to settle them. But we are paying monies to people. And sometimes I'm not saying this will justify some people engaging in those acts. But I'm not saying that. You see, I'm doing sociology and sometimes trying to understand people, why people do certain things. We need to also understand that this country, how we treat public officials or civil servants is not the best. Sometimes the amount we pay civil servants in this country, we are putting them in a situation where they have to be corrupt. That's the truth. You are paying teachers 2,500 a month. How should they survive? So if you get the opportunity and you think there is a way in the system that I can get double salary, he will do it. I'm not justifying it. I'm only saying that whilst we are after them, we don't have to even create a situation where the person will even think about it. It's part of why judges, although our judges, they are so wicked, some of them. Our peace court judges, the amount we pay their salary is not easy. Some of them are around 75,000 cedis. We are doing that because we want to make sure that at least you should be able to, you should be financially independent. So they cannot easily be lured by money. But they are still doing it. But I'm also saying that when it comes to civil servants too, we should pay them more. So they are not even in the position to think about, I need to get double salary. Because someone is taking 2,000 Ghana cedis. Taking double salary is around 4,000 Ghana cedis. Which is for me is a normal salary. So we need to also look at that. Because the way we are punishing civil servants in this country is not the best. Government has to address that. We have to increase their salary and deal with inflation. But aside that, they are for the ghost names. Mahama will deal with it, don't worry. I want to promise my boss that as you rightly, he alluded to the fact that President Mahama didn't shoot Abu Ghapili. He went to prison to the best of my around 6 years. Yeah, with business mogul Philip Azabit. Can I tell you that President Mahama will not shoot any appointee who would help, engage in a payroll fraud? We said that we want to embark on cost cutting, measures, and as part of the cost cutting measures is that we will not pay money to ghosts.
Okay.
I mean, this I even detest the term ghost. They are not ghosts. These are people like life, people that are alive. They are human beings breathing that have lives in them. That we are calling them ghosts. They are not ghosts. I understand where the term ghost is stemming from. But I'm always saying that they are not ghosts. These are people who are wicked to the state that are like national service. You see, the report that came by first estate, they realized that somebody who around 79 years, 80 years is doing service in Ghana.
Yeah, someone who is not even a Ghanaian.
Some of them are not even Ghanaians. And I'm wondering why we can do this to the state. The same people who go to church and be praising God that God has given you opportunity. And God has given you opportunity to be doing this. You mentioned about NSS Ghost name. The Attorney General Deputy yesterday mentioned that they received the full reports recently. About 22 people have been identified. They are looking at retrieving 500 million Ghana cedis. So let's be rest assured that if we can make savings from this alone, 500 million Ghana cedis. 500 million Ghana cedis can come upon the endorse more.
Yes, Kakis.
Endorse, yes, they are just paying to. There are people that are not even doing the service at all. They are not in it at all, but they are paying them. So why should you go and take someone if you think you want to take care of maybe some old woman who is 60 years or 70 years? That's good. You can do it. But why do you include the person as part of service personnel and you pay the person 715? And unfortunate thing is that those who are diligently working will not even receive their salaries or their allowances on time. All in the name of you are paying people who are not working for it. So imagine you're able to cut it by you are able to make this savings of 500 million Ghana cedis. We are making progress as a country. So for the digitalization, Bawumia said there, it's not the reason because Bawumia told us that because of digitalization, there's no ghost names in this country again. Only for OSP and controller to go and do this investigation. Ghost names at the national service. That's telling you that, you see, I believe that there's no system, technology that can prevent human beings from stealing. There's no technology. It can mitigate it.
It's the humans who are even operating.
Correct. It can mitigate it. So what we need now, as my brother recently mentioned, we need a mental shift to understand that, look, I had the opportunity to do that. We talk about ethics. Ethics will demand that, yes, this is not unlawful. Yet it's also good for the state. So although I have the opportunity to do this, but I'm not going to do it because it's not right. So we need to get to a point where people, although may be in a position to have done that, but they should be pricked by their conscience. That no, I don't have to do this against the state. We should get to that point because when it comes to laws, institutions that we talk about, I always say that institutions are not buildings. They are not laws. It's human beings that enforce laws. So we need to get to a point where people will be mentally strong enough to say that no, I will not do this to the state. If you go to those so-called advanced countries, what is helping them is not the laws alone or police. It's to the point that the citizens have a certain conscience or notion that I'm not supposed to do this. Not because I'll be arrested, because it's not right. So I don't go and engage in payroll fraud because I'll be arrested. I don't do it because it's not nice, it's not good for the state. We should get to that point too. But for now, in the meantime, in the interim, those people, for me, I like the shaming part of it. Let's post their pictures everywhere. Let's if your family, because you should know your family. No, but that one is too much. But we should be able to tell Mr. Omari, I'm just as an example. Mr. Omari, this and that and that. You should be like at the basic schools. We can use it as an example. So your whole generation, at least your children will know that I will never do this because my father did this, and because of that, it's a very negative image of my family. We should be able to do that. And 2 days ago, per my readings, I realized that Parliament is even considering a bill in that regard. That people who engage in corruption will be named and shamed. And I think we need to do that. So people will take lessons.
Thank you there, Prince. Getting into the next topic and with the mention of corruption here. Ms. Archie, do you know about the SML deal, the Strategic Mobilization Limited?
Well, I think my little knowledge around it has to do with GRA had wanted to have a system as part of their revenue generation up to maximize whatever it is. And then they fell on a third party, which is the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, an agency that they are also into stuff of that nature. So they contracted them to come in to undertake that exercise for Ghana Revenue Authority. And along the line, just as the nod was given, the Fourth Estate, which is spearheaded by Manasseh Azuri and then his team, also petitioned the OSP that they are sensing, or as part of their work, they've noticed some irregularities on that contract being a sole source contract. So they've drawn the attention of the OSP in that regard. Nti ano na ebobo ba kanoforiata ne nase for enyom fair share. But you see, on mind there, I always say that, say the Ghana mind, say a man, anything small, and I be ye the share on sa, say ye in the name of the miner. Do it and do it diligently. Every nation strives on tax.
Okay.
In him say GRA, no more share no ma ebani sikasem ye taxes na de.
Sure.
So as part of they possibly extending their tentacles and thinking that the SML can come in, help them in that nature to be able to maximize the work that they do. And that is the way to go. Nti wumu na ya kofa se bra. Na bra beboa yen. Na ebi adwuma ye ntum ye increase ye revenue generation na ye gene na se form. Na say right from the word go, ye so sourced at least e wombrem nti ne baby ne ye nkoho ne bebre. Na ye ma so sourced na afide ye konkrata mu no na neoma were beyond how we expected the job to be done. Who suffers? It is the nation that suffers. And your mind is sick. I come out to say Ghana Hano, it is the politician who can or the absolute right, excuse my language, to do nonsense in this country. It is the politician alone that have the absolute right to do nonsense. Because ono de emrano otumifa emranechi na we beating net. Na wa ye ne ope. Na sesabi say ye wa dwuma mpo a will you want things to happen that way? You will not allow things to happen that way. So this thing that they are bringing people who the evidence is there that their actions and then inactions or possibly the negligence on their part is bringing us this far. It is good. Let's bring them to book.
Okay.
Let's bring everybody to book. Because me, my company, and now my business that I'm running, being a CEO or whatever, I will not sit down for things to go the way that I wouldn't be happy around. I'll be constant around it. I'll be deliberate in how things are done to achieve maximum results. But in your mind, so somebody will tell you, Ghana there, and that attitude, that mindset as Ghanaian, and then they be anti. Say moment power beba to me beba then people begin to align. They begin to position themselves. And him for so.
Yeah.
Nanako can be mame. For anuko mame. The creme de la creme, the respected people. Because you know why. Some crofini na do manuko tuma obedimu. The way to me akwaji sa atumin. No kwaji wi a ono kwa de ababe wasa ni sirim. Eni se yebu mansa. Because we should get to a time whereby even if NDC get power, they should go all out there to look for people that are highly inclined in responsibilities. They are not necessarily associated with them. Who can best deliver?
Okay.
Let's begin to grow a nation beyond political lines. All-inclusive government. People that have the technical know-how. Look, when President Kufuor came, somebody like Parkway Sindum, he was not an MPP, but he saw the capability in the man. He brought him to the fold. Are you getting me? Let's begin to reason beyond political lines. Now you ensure the people that are well to do, that have the technical know-how, the mindset which can help grow the nation. Because a question they be to me by now, oh, now you campaign we crown or this kaba me ekwe into MP baby financial. Not looking at the competence, not looking at even the quality or whatever the person stands in to just best deliver. Into a better chair. They are my party apparatchikis. Just give them positions and then they'll come to mess around things. It is about time, say, as a nation, it should be the country first before a political correlation or political affiliation to comes in. So that we are always dealing with people who can give us results irrespective of their background. Look at somebody like, there's one man that I respect so much. The Chief Executive Officer for Ghana Ambulance Service.
Okay.
Professor Zakaria. Brilliant man by all standards. He has worked under regimes. So Banka Ghana de himself ka table 10 years. See you there aban no boarding into okwana on no call. But this man has worked under regimes. Both President Kufuor time, both Nana Addo time, both Mahama time, Atamil's time. He has distinguished himself beyond the political coloration. And this is the kind of people that we need to advocate. Are you getting it? Yeah. But Sankoba Sana said, Debiano, no man could say, almost said the right thing I say, and put yeah, so my because quickly, almost said Nipano off from me now, yes, out in the farm, Brakoma, quickly now, grassroots to Fuachomiti. We are going to sleep with him because we sleep with him or ADM. And meanwhile, we say crime has no expiring date. Yeah. And to be idea or money be besha one sa say she na ye no. She na ye na ye ni. So that what Chinabino abai fiswa and I'm say crime any expiring date inti. When even you exit the four corners of your governance, when the new government should take over, not go through the books, not realize said that be Mr. Beckson, some time ago, I'm a politan bag 5. Say for coach be coach obro ni krum. 5 no ba kumpandu ho. Nti brana be yi ano. Eni se chebi memu asori di machi. So fi chebi ye diem. Nti chinchira chan you stand by him. What? Hey, na oni baby am de ko e. Ah me makonya me ho tam no. Wo dey over stand by me. Are you getting it? Yeah. So let's begin to stay away. Debi am come see obi a wa ma minor boka causing financial loss. Why ye bibi amfa ne kwam no. Yenja na mbra na nkasa ne ntitim. That is the way to go. Okay. That is the way to go. So yes sir, obia will go and hide under the pretense of politics. Now I'm make your mind because when you so we are obenya no crophobia on bebe ginem say yen de ni gina nti entwitwa nje no. It shouldn't be like that. Okay. We have a nation to build, not a political party to grow it alone. Sure. Because it is the political party. You see, Ghana mine na yen to conquer na Jubilee House. But it's the political party that will give birth to who should come and lead the charge. Okay. And it's a one who bebe ya woman who bebe lead the charge. No, we are crom for there. Send we are doomed. So let's do things right. Or mine nyoma bebre kosu ahenye. Nyoma bebre simply because individuals nka waye bibi enye na say yes single on nko out. Ne de no famra kwanso ne ma mbra no ne di no. Afi wo se na fi political party de omo ababa attach. Okay. And idea we see when this me see when people. Please. You people should credit Ghanaians with some level of respect. Because tax it ya. Hey yo. Hey yo, now what pay slip by ya we was so you know how it feels. Now you bet it in you will be best a little drop of water. You bet you kaka near Cambom. You can't boom comfortable and one on the one corner din. You can't boom an our Trinity. I think this SML thing that is ongoing, that the OSP is pushing things. Maybe they be a meka. Message will be a bonnet. And I say if there's a perceived bonnet, now you go after the person. I don't want to have sympathy with the person. Okay. I don't want to have sympathy. No, not at all. No, they be a meka say, ye to sana mono. Let's try not to be judges in our own court. Okay. In any case, we are not in a banana republic. Ya wombra into obi bia na yenim say yemfa no famra kwan so no nkofa through the rigors of the law. Mrana so am you say a person is not guilty until proven by competent court of jurisdiction. Into obi bia na ye that perception, ye evidence say akwa we bleed your mind no yemfa no nkofa mra kwan so na mra ne ntitim. Okay. Or Japade bi ayenje because most of our prisons are because yasisan ebinu mo say on Japade let's confiscate it yenji ombi bi omwo from hero to zero. No, man, no titanic or no maybe. Okay. Now taxi to ya.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chi. Prince.
Yeah.
The SML. Prince, let me ask this: When did this deal come into conception?
I think 2023.
Yeah.
Yes. I think 2024 that President Akufo-Addo instructed GRA to terminate it based on the KPMG report. But you see, I thank God that the contract was terminated under MPP.
Okay.
They would have classified or termed this to as political witch hunting, or we are against a certain administration. And I'm not against government entity engaging a third party or second party, right, to help them maybe deliver on their mandate. Or maybe GRA feels that okay, SML can help us, take our taxes or go and then take monies, which maybe can increase our revenue. There's no problem with that. Exactly. So engaging private entities shouldn't be anything wrong. But what channel did you use? They made 3 failed attempts in getting approval from PPA, because there are laws governing PPA regulates single source contracts in this country, or single sourcing, or sole sourcing, however you want to put it. And it's very clear. There are exceptional circumstances that grant that maybe can engage in single sourcing. Sole sourcing. Maybe there's an emergency or an urgency to do that. Maybe for security reasons, requires that maybe you procure from a single supplier, or maybe it's only that supplier that can provide that good, so you have to go for single sourcing. But in this country, instead of us engaging in competitive tendering, that it's not only SML that can do that job. Maybe there are different entities that can also do the same. How much are you paying SML? Maybe SML and maybe GBL. I'm just setting an example. GBL can do the same job. Maybe SML will take you 10,000 cedis at the end of every month. Or maybe the deal is that, depending on how much you're able to collect, I'm going to give 5% of that. Okay. Maybe GBL also can do the same work, saying that I will take 3% of that. Competitive tendering will help you able to analyze this. And government wants to make sure that one, you achieve the desired results and minimize cost. That's why you've long advocated for competitive tendering. But the information available to us, correct? Oh my God, Kenneth Rayata, you should come and answer questions. I've prayed for him yesterday, that he should be healed. Yes, I don't want you to be sick. Because the single sourcing, anytime I hear single sourcing, this is not like an emergency or an urgency, or it's not as though it's only SML that can perform it. Okay. So why do you use SML only?
Who is the owner of SML company?
SML, for that I don't know.
Really know. Okay.
But if I mention any to you, it's a brain problem, because I recall somebody saying Haftel belongs to Bawumia and became a whole problem in this country. So clearly, my problem has to do with even the mode of, awarding the contract. They violated the PPA, that's Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 63. Awarded this contract, very shady deal. And let's commend Manase Azuri. As far as this SMN deal is concerned, in fact, Zoom Lion deal is concerned, Manase Azuri has to be commended. He has done a yeoman job for this country, putting his life on the line to the point that he has to, leave this country all because people were going after his life. But my problem has to do with that. As a country going forward, we need to always make sure that there's competitive tendering for every contract, so that we can see different competencies coming on board, that we can assess who can best execute this contract. There are times people can even do far better than SML. But maybe because of your relationship with maybe the owner of SML, you award the contract. Okay. And people will not be pleased with it. They may not have engaged in any form of corruption. But because maybe we feel that, no, SML, though they can do this, we have another company who could have done the same job, but maybe taking 3%, maybe SML is taking 5% of it. So at the end of the day, we are losers as a country. That's why President Mahama is saying that those single source contracts wouldn't be tolerated in his government. We want to make sure that today, even Zoom Lion contracts, we are going to decentralize it. Okay. So it wouldn't be that Zoom Lion alone is taking about 70% of the country's sanitation. No. We want to make sure that different companies, sanitation companies, can also come in. If you think I do Ashanti region or a municipality, you award the contract, you deliver on that. The moment you engage in single sourcing, these people feel they are so entitled to it. But when there's competition, you got it based on competition. You'll be able to deliver well. But this one, they may look as though it is your right, whether you like it or not. It was just given to you as though you're the only person who can do it. Okay. I don't have a problem with single sourcing. The laws are very clear, the condition that can grant us. But we cannot continue to violate it. And when we are being called to answer questions, maybe we fake sickness, which is no good for the country. So the law must deal with everybody.
Every sickness be sickness.
I said maybe, because as we speak, there's a purported letter going around that somebody is sick. In fact, the OSP, who is the institution that's investigating the matter, said that they have not received any official report to that effect. I've not seen Kenneth Friata lying or saying, but like, what shall I want to be so in the hospital? At least for one, we should have seen that. So clearly, me, I want Honorable Kenneth Friata, former finance minister, to come. We are not judging him. And I want to repeat this point. We will continue to speak to the facts and the issues on the ground that you have involved in this. That's what the investigation has revealed to us. Yeah. You know, the same as judging you. Then we shouldn't go to court. Before you send someone to court, but you have slapped me. When you go to the court, you tell the judge that this person has slapped me, and for that matter, maybe convict him or take this amount of money from him. It does not mean you are judging the person. You are only stating what you believe is right and it's wrong. And for us too, we believe that the SML deal was awarded in a very shady manner. And we
why do you believe so?
My problem has to do
what
with
is shady about the deal?
The single sourcing is what I don't understand. And the SML, like, I don't understand. You see, conflict of interest. You have PPA boss who go and create companies and they are awarding contracts to himself. Like, why should you do that as a country? That, yes, let me say, you want to supply sanitary pads, right? Yeah. You have about 7 companies produce sanitary pads in this country. We are talking about making sure that we deliver good public service at the same time so reducing costs as a country. The government or education minister will engage only one company. Meanwhile, maybe another company could have done the same, giving the same quality at a lower price. But because maybe your relationship with somebody at maybe your sanitary pad, you get award a contract to them without opening up for other companies to also tender. That's my problem. Okay. So we need to, as a country, move
from that. Is that what happened in the SML day?
Yes, it was single source contract. That's the fact on the ground. And that's what Honorable GRA and Honorable Mayare Kenofriata is doing to us. So please, Ghanaians to be very assured. As far as the SML deal is concerned, we are going to deal with it. NSS scandal, we are going to deal with it. Today, we have succeeded in the Zoom Lion. In fact, Manasseh has always the happiest person in Ghana today. Because I think he has been fighting Zoom Lion for over 10 years now.
Long time.
Yeah, over 10 years now. But government yesterday has promised that they're not going to renew the contract. I'm not happy, but I'm happy. Okay. Because I'm not happy that maybe... But it's fine. As a country, you're building a country. One man cannot do all the job. Yeah. So we should decentralize to make sure that everybody at a district level can work. Zoom Lion alone is not the company capable of doing it. Okay. So Aban Papa na Abano, my boss says should be really short. President Mahama has less his less, just as he said. We are not going to repeat some of the mistakes. Okay. That does not also mean that there will not be mistakes in this government. Okay. That's why we are calling on everybody to be citizens and not spectators. Okay. Of course, we are not President Akufo-Addo who will speak and not act. When you come and speak, they will not be attacking you. No. President Mahama is saying that please don't keep mute. Okay. CSOs that were quite under the previous administration. Yeah. And Obia to make us free. Obia Mbebo. We are judge now was over court now Odiasema. No one will come to attack you. So only him go be attack you say we are Delta Force. That be we be a GhanaTalks radio. Only so be free. Abonti aba say I na mo show na entertainment show. I didn't moka politics also. That be mo na mo editorial policies. Mo na mo check na mo say mo ye. Enti aban papa aban che say se mampanye ya de bi na enkoja. Obia or right on kan wan say because ya japa de ni tika na odi di adwuma no. Enti ya person me papa mo omu na mboa ye de of course we because of maybe where we sit no. Normally boy ani nkoso. But one ni boss wa mon set your feet to fire. Na ye ntimi mbo adwuma no magana for because it's our own benefit and as a country. Say party or ba ban mu o ya adwuma to the expectation of Ghanaians. I know you say in the next election won't suffer. But say party for nkwa e communicate with na Mahama ya then say 4 years no be so Ghanaians will punish us. So ye hian crofo so a say party communicate akran timi kan okran na men kasa man kan okran. But say want timi kakran na e ba nya crofo a almost with kan okran. Na ye use state machine ko attack you. But there back on say jandam the yen so and the men kan down. Say Mahama ebia akofa akosi dan Dubai hotel na on see ya. And that one they will come after you with superior evidence. Okay. We will not come and attack you as in personally, no. But what I'm saying is that criticizing government does not mean that you should be throwing in, jandam. Okay. No. Send your MBC and you're learning lessons from that. You can see your Nishibia or Tokyo Harbor, You per se and ne over cancer asem your friend say be use a man and attack on anybody. So say now what can you say? I want to clear this. What can I say be you one now say it's an attack. So because of freedom of speech or expression, you know. Now over tonight say Omahama ni obi awo e was sonyani. You say okay, but say you be on na ko we say attack on the media. You should be responsible for what you see.
Okay.
That's
PK, I just want to add a little to what my good friend
Sure.
He made a clarion call here, and then I think it is right and it is good. You know, why exhibit on my papa, but they do baby no sounds to VN or TSIM. As usual, you know, politician and then someone who has an affiliate until he will go that way. But the client corner me person me de krebi ka ho man say mesre kanu for ya tayare ye twe na bo so den that is the way to go ye paniye nemum ye wo Ghana ha mamra so ache sedinam tamaklo
okay
nti mesre me de family so so ma John Dramani Mahama so nti na o ma sedinam tamaklo mbra no mbra me face ni jail term
and then me to buy you one ha there I Attorney General aka say omo the normal to akwan mu on be say omo the neighbor
okay
but then I was say you come on Ghana for nothing say I said na tamakro no conviction na go for dame onya ye no want to have a number men can say Attorney General yeah yes no man but that impression should not be created as though or end this in number because ideally crampono say if you are ready to fight corruption now what must secure conviction you have an apple time so better maba Ghana. Not today, maybe before to say NDC Ninja Nyamba Ghana. As he said, President Mahama on Kaho. Meanwhile, no, you were in power, you had all the machinery, state institutions. Wait to Maba Ghana, Abe Servi, the jail term. One Timanye, Menka say yen, but impression on better way to say NDC for person Kaho. At that time, no conviction, then and the current administration. I am one among the courts, and I must log no so I am passing evidence, court I can say.
Yeah.
And based on that, it's always saving the jail term. Court account we say when I will prosecuting in any public court we are. And aban we to an amombia, but now no most of my nyade. Some would mean there some court. Fanny Panabra one court order. Fanny Panabra to run for number. And then who signs soon a creative impression to say, yeah, mum we are being reticent about the whole thing. That's not the case.
Okay.
And to the point must be stated in clear terms.
Yeah.
That will make sure that said Nantamak will come and serve her jail term. But we also have to reiterate the point that the conviction came under MPP and they couldn't do it. So it's not as though NDC is being reluctant. Can you forget also Obian Castle Obi Yaria Ombe General Holding Denti. But senior Yaria, there are different degrees to it. You can be called to answer questions.
Yeah.
Depending on the degree of Yari, you are infirmity of the mind. Say, why being Sisui, Obu or Crown answers are on your way of your catch on. So later, we call I say, I mean, Casa because or I dream how, or I or so incapacitated to the sense that only to not play, only to be 19 point better one. Fine, now make us say, oh, or be Yari, meet my Yari. Or more treatments, I will not like it. Entire OSP is demanded a detailed medical report. To the point say, on to me to not play mumpu. Be our bar, now dream Yarno, on to me and cooperate with the investigation. Not always for nothing, I say. But to say, may Yare here, may Yare just like that. Yare now Yare. Now,
cancer.
Prostate cancer now, okay. According to OSP, BTA, or more director of research, lawyer Samedako, or say, as I say for an post to the one that you have an engagement with, they're supposed to send them a medical report. You go and give it to a media house to publish it. You think that the OSP should, based on what they are seeing on the media, take it as though it's an official document. No. Why don't you serve them the letter? Say, this is my medical report.
Okay.
Speaking to the fact that I'm unable to avail myself because I'm so weak, I cannot be present physically.
Okay.
Then you're also, determining the medium of investigating. Say, online, I Zoom meeting, and now say security reasons. Who knows who is recording?
Yeah.
That's all information that you cannot discuss it online. I'm not a security expert.
Sure.
But I think that investigating somebody via Zoom there, a bit more compromise at the now. Then our argument about Foster Mahama, President Mahama's brother. Interpol, and also, Interpol also. And our President Mahama, Niano, now on or you have Ghanaian or dual citizen.
Okay.
And now according to OAC spokesperson, UK are bound, they were not willing to release them because in 9 3 people were part of it.
Yeah.
So then they weren't willing to release them. But Kino Freata, or Ghana need 100%. Unless say there's any other documents I just say on Ghana need 100%. And I say you're a dual citizen.
Okay.
And Kino Freata then will be on time. Yes, say. Oh yeah, for detailed reports a branch so oh yeah, say it won't remember. But so the one Canada the answer we'll get to a point where everybody when called to answer questions, because I'm here and I'm going to take care of myself indefinitely. Now, bro, for no if I'm not to be that indefinitely into no way. Yen trains are 95 in no like I said, oh, 95 years. Please, we cannot release that act.
Okay. Bizache, he took the mantle upon himself to answer to your current call.
What was it called?
Was it okay for you?
Yeah, and maybe Obi Betsy, we are all being citizens and they're not spectators.
Sure.
So, I have something even in mind, but I think the president can even think same or even might not. Intermediate. I am only speaking as a citizen, sir. And so no money be. And he can for the perception there. Listen, no more be a wire and young fan and family. That is the way to go.
I don't can't cry the court and can't say
yes
ready for you. Said you know dear you say court and gas
exactly.
I also obey them.
Until the follow the say because you see say bibi say ba na say aman mra no etu ho anamon na say anya it means say asemasi kra kokoye no yentumi enenandi
it's just a
deterrence no it NC
it's true
NC intimate just a humble call that I'm giving to my brother say say you two anamon say ni ono so emra na kire say wanye ni ye ni na ebe attractive say obia be mindful the way oye ne oma.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have minutes kakra the last topic, and this topic is in regards to the Ablekuma Central. Stella, Omuni MP. Ablekuma.
Yes, Omuni MP.
So Omuni MP.
Yeah.
Emma to no biasu winning.
Biasu winning.
It's soon to mean declare. There won't commodity some conversations around it, and we know Madam Valerie Sawyer. She has suggested that we should just have a rerun to determine it once and for all. What do you think? Because according to reports, the EC claims that they have their results. Why can't EC just declare the so-called results they have? Why do we then have to go and have a rerun if the results are there? Why can't they just declare it?
PK.
Yes, sir.
I think, sir, how do you rather ask the questions? No. But to me, who the way I maybe say a question. What is the basis in here? The Sawyer is proposing a rerun. What is the basis? Look, sometimes let's speak truth to power.
Okay.
Yeah.
When
we need no fanadi mano, non-co parliament. You see, the truth of the matter is.
Do we have a winner now?
We have a winner. In yes, we have a winner now. We have a winner.
We have a winner.
Yes, we have a winner.
Has it been declared?
But then you see, but it is clear that the MPP woman won. That is the truth. She won. Abnefree won. Okay. But she look at this. Yeah. Yeah, waha ye nim say abatwa ye tui.
Yeah.
Both the NDC and MPP. Obi on a stronghold. Even in your strongholds, will opponents to me seat. Look at the just ended the election.
Yeah.
NDC was able to sweep at first Ashanti region no city they maximized it this time round.
Yeah.
What I say? But then people could have fought you. Say a high ADM say, but when you won and then you won on the fairgrounds, what is will be a who did it?
So do you think that's what is happening?
Now started say Boba. Now you're 2 years in a coalition center. Look at the things that were happening. You get the life of Wyoming and so on and so forth. Even time and power or more coalition center, you could see the threats and things that were happening there. Ya koto a baby. Obia to vote back. Ye wie ya kan. Ya kan ya no. Me nua yo henya 6. Bexon minya 5. 6 na 5. Afi ye wie mfa pink sheet bra matete medium and meanwhile no Charlie, who does that?
Wow.
The truth of the matter is that the free woman has won.
Okay.
And one person more the cow the fan a betty.
Wow.
Because you see who to me for to me or raw cow for a betty.
Okay. So you think the
NDC,
party in power?
Everybody BBI and Okres Greater Accra, NDC won and they won massively and overwhelmingly. And to see it back open and your dear. Men finding all other means to get it. A quite say Solomon there. Look at the plenty women that he has. Obi dear bakupe, Obi dear bakupena, or say Gano Muna Kono Bayano. He went all out just to go. This is what is happening. It is not fair. It is not nice to our democracy. Now, the baby no make say if you baby if because the former IGP Okoya. Yeah. Along the line, soon be able to say, give us protection. Then to me, you to me kind and declare. No more shifty go pull na call. Nankone ofi ona the respected you no buy no. I didn't see quite. Send and come to be taking him. Send me command protection. You declare ni enko. But I think they're bringing another school of thought and query around.
I think that, and it's not like I think. Even the respected Yohunu, as you just mentioned, has even requested for the EC to grant them permission to provide security, so that they give declaration. So right now, who should we really hold accountable here? The EC.
Me say, EC. And I'm because initially, no EC had what it takes to just declare that thing.
Why didn't they? Why didn't they?
Because journalist para who push me say me mumpa na sen ka be push you.
O dey be say dey me na me bisa questions.
PK me da say because baby out you na bisa questions. Na yen yi ano. Na PK na me ka say ade into the man na EC ade so ye. Ne constitutionally mandated ejuma so ye no. He slept on the job at that time. Why are you denying the people a fair representation? When you are caught to a baby against all odds, you are to a way, you are kind way, you will be a nyaye. At the end, they see quite so be declared the winner. One man in Saxonia coining. Nana front and back, obisi acquiring one, obisi pink sheet in the who be until who does that? It is about time the EC must come out. Modality be a person the betum na o declare because or habano. Yeah. Any say one be our baby.
You don't agree to it?
I don't agree to it because you have a winner.
Okay.
We don't need a rerun.
Okay.
We don't need a rerun.
Okay.
Sabi ya to abey aye krano obia opa pink sheet be arko. And it's very interesting enough, both the NDC and the MPP, they all had more like a back room. And I know they were all collating their results. It will be their back, no pushy, no magic, no more collating cambo. It will be you understand? Interdenting as a service will be a pink sheet, and that will be a quantity pink sheet, man. A detail from be able to be privy to whatever is there. Now, see, and some cotton for. You can't subvert the will of the people.
Okay.
Your hearts are the OBC. Say some trophy a pafu, say why? They were supposed to be presented. The same easy at that side and for a whole 4 years, these people were not represented. Are they?
Okay.
Until they about they be about until they own transnational what is right. And because you are now creating a vacuum, look at the response there by Yankwari run, Yankwari reshift, Yankwari way. There's nothing rerun. There's nothing reshift. Go and declare.
Okay.
Put measures in place. Yankonko abano. Nama and parliament. Uncle represented the good people.
Okay.
Let us not do this.
Okay.
We are building democracy.
Yeah.
Democracy is very costly, and then nobody. But what JC when him say obeya? Yeah, na ye ni ye. So it's still a learning process. Let's do it well. Ninja ni ye.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Oje. Prince.
I'll be looking for Omanya MP. Don't worry. But South was almost now 4 years. I'm what an eye. I mean, your madam representation of Munyabi. You see, I humbly disagree with my boss here.
Okay.
You see, it does appear that the argument in that is premise on the fact that I say I sit, but I go perform. Politics and then I'm asking you how. Say David concubines 500, you know. Say Obi until one and go far. Now Obi no ye na was all fana. So far, enya bonyase. We no enya about say me wo seat ebia 20 or 20 for channel. The question is that we need yana. We need many problem.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with MPP if MPP won. Yeah. They are winning because they won, not because NDC thinks that we NDC think we are doing them a favor of giving the seat. That's for me, it's an illegal thing to do.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the member of parliament there, you are not being fair to her.
Okay.
But she also invested. The people rights must be respected. Their intelligence must be respected. They knew who they believe say has the competence to represent them in parliament.
Yeah.
So you cannot base on the numbers you have in a region. Say, take care of more will. Subverting their will, no, giving it to somebody else, which is not a true reflection of what they voted for. No.
Okay.
Now, political parties, you know, all of them are giving pink sheets, and then they are expected to say you have a carbon copies of that, not scan copies of it. So if I have problem with you presenting MPP presenting scan copies of it, and I believe that these are fraud copies, I have every cause to raise alarm about it. Now the EC, for me, has not been diligent in doing their work. Honestly,
why?
They have been very apathetic. This shouldn't have taken us 5-6 months. I don't know why we are here today. That all this, what were they doing? You mentioned about IGP. The police are willing to give them all the security they need to do whatever thing they want to do. So why are they with all this? What are they doing? If there's a need for us to rerun those polling stations, let's do it. Not the whole constituency. That maybe their results has come under severe contestation. We have to rerun them to know who actually won the election. But any argument that I want to suggest that it should be given to them because they have few numbers, for me, I will not support that. The member of parliament.
I don't think that was.
But what shows the MPP candidate won? Nothing.
Okay.
No, what shows? Did the EC declare the election results? No. Okay. We had a situation in Tema Central. Abby Bright was declared by the EC as the winner. Later on, it turned out to be that she's no longer the winner. It's not the case. So the mere fact that maybe based on certain results that you received indicate that somebody won does not mean she won. No. What we are saying is that the EC must do its work very well. Okay. Because this EC, Jen Mensah, is the most incompetent EC I've ever seen in Ghana. Hey. I'm being honest. EC that can deny Sandro Kofi Akpa Felipe Lolo be represented for 4 good years. But a few days I saw some people, MPP members demonstrating. He said the hypocrisy in this country is too much. And I thank God that my boss here mentioned it. 4 good years, you deny that representation. And today, the same people are carrying forward that, some people have been denied representation for 4 months. I say, hey, who need representation of parliament? You know the importance of it. But the same EC. And you Supreme Court were lackadaisical about it. Left, right, center, like that, slow. 4 good years. I'm not saying it should repeat itself because at the end they want to make progress. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that EC should take a stand. If you are doing rerun, do it. If it's recollation, if you have results that you want to declare it and let's move. Okay. If the candidate who loses have every reason to send you to court to contest that, they should do it. But don't leave us in suspense. We don't know what you're doing, whether you're rerunning the election, are you declaring it or what? Okay. What problem do you have with the election results right now? Okay. Tell us. If you have a problem with the copies presented, okay, does it justify or give a reasonable grounds for you to rerun the election again? Then we do that. Do you think that maybe the NDC candidate has won the election? Declare. If the MPP candidate is displeased with it, there are appropriate courts for that. You can go to court to have your grievances addressed. Okay. But to leave us in suspense and just in the country, we do right now. If I should ask you what the EC is doing, you don't know. We all don't know. Honestly, we don't know. Sure. We are just there. Ablekumanov or money MP or heading. What at all is he doing? So please, the electoral commission and the electoral commissioner, if care is not taken, she will go down as the worst issue we have ever had as a country. Because communication is very key. Okay. I don't have a problem with the delay. I think we should be able to communicate to us what your current stance are as far as the constituency is concerned. Tell us whether we are going to rerun the election or we are going to declare it. Okay. If it's a matter of security, one constituency, security, there's 50 military personnel and 20 police officers can do that. Can give you the necessary protection you want. Okay. If you are afraid to, under MPP, we're not giving military protection. Yes, Mahama can do that. He can even double it. National security operator can even surround the house every day. Okay. But you have to do the right thing. Okay. And the right thing must be done. And NDC, we believe we have won the seat has down. Okay. In fact, Greater Accra region, Tema Central, they are lucky. Even that one, I still think everybody has to pursue it.
Okay.
We should have won all the seats in Greater Accra region, but we are targeting the next election. In Ashanti region, we are increasing our vote there.
Okay.
So every NDC member in Ablekuma North should be rest assured that the seat will come to NDC.
Okay.
We are going to increase our two-third majority in Parliament to make sure that everything that goes to Parliament will be given the necessary, approval within the least possible time. Of course, we are going to send good things to Parliament.
Okay.
It's not like e-levy. When we send Luson levy, although there will be communication gap here and there, but we will still get it, and Ghanaians will understand it. So, MP Nidia, Yabaji Ablekuma North, everybody in this in some.
Yeah, that's it. Besides, time was I
think today is the very first time I'm meeting the brother here. I'm really in love with how he make his submissions. As usual, and it is one of those things. But then I love how. But then as you I just want to say a big thank you to some few friends around who I think they're also doing well. A very good friend of mine, Amos, is now a government appointee. Ejuma Kwenya Nesiam District government appointee and NDC friend. I wish him the very best. And then Ombo Ejuma. And then I have a friend to engineer Awotwe.
Okay.
Who is also aspiring to be a constituency youth organizer for the MPP with Jagbawe.
Okay.
And then Chairman Benjamin Adams. Because whilst their party was in disarray, things were not moving, that man has always shown them the way. And he's also harboring the ambition of coming for constituency chairperson in the MPP in Jagbawe. And I think their grassroots should consider the zeal and then the kind of enthusiasm that this man carry.
Okay.
And they should give him the nod to serve them better.
Okay.
Because, like His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, he said he's resetting Ghana. And I believe that man, Benjamin Adams, will help reset Jagbawe constituency for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bexinoche. Prince, your last words.
Opani the or down for party via moon. What was there? But be already be patched. When you can't end this, you say, oh, end this, like our castle or boss or end there. Okay, neutral politicians. As I now, means the agenda be with
that's a graph. No more that's not classroom. And they are our.
Oh, yes.
And you see, politics are about ideas.
Yeah.
The fact that he unknown share a dream on this ground doesn't mean more enemies. It is good that people would decide that this is the direction I want to go. And in a while, Abu Jinapon, John Jinapon, Kafia Bakumo. But because of ideas or ideology, Obia believes say I want to go the center left, I want to go. So and the friends around, I respect Obia in a decision.
Surely.
And it doesn't take away the bond that exists between us. That is how it is.
Very true. And I want to say a big thank you to all 10 executives. We are doing a great job. We are currently, today is the last day for our membership registration exercise. We want to make sure that the NDC attractiveness on university campuses will be heightened. I last mentioned to you that in the last election, we won all the polling stations on Legon campus.
Wow.
When, in stark contrast, unlike what we won in the last election, 2020 elections, we won only 30 out of 56. But 2024 election, we won all the 56. If you go to Winneba, we won all the we won the Kenya University, we won, in fact, all the major tertiary institutions in Ghana.
For the first time.
And we want to make sure that we keep that spirit. And that's why 10 is doing this. And we want to call our leaders to support us. We need massive support. In the coming weeks, we are organizing a communication, workshop for our communicators, student communicators. We want to build a communicator from the scratch. And we will have the Minister for Government Communication coming in to tell them what they need to know and how they can communicate effectively for government on campus. NDC is an intellectual party, but we don't talk too much. We will get the work done. We will not go a late party. No. You can compare a national executive from chairman, compare chairman to chairman, and communication, and organizer. So what we are doing is that we want to build our party, because there are times I realize that inside a party comes to government, the party in itself is kind of neglected. We don't pay attention to the structures and all that. But that same party that begged the government. So there's a need for us to keep that focus on the party to make sure that at least we build the politicians from the university level. So every student on University of Ghana campus who wants to effectively communicate for government, like what my boss is doing here, having friends on both political sides, having the intellect, to kindly join us next week at the SRC Union Building Friday. We are going to have a communication workshop for all of you. And I want to extend a very big thank you to Lawyer Beatrice Annan. Fantastic woman.
Fantastic.
Lawyer Beatrice Annan. Fantastic woman. I want to thank her so much for the support and advice. Harrison Kudwaba, Julius Kwame, Anthony, Raymond Tamakulu, Dr. Samayaye. Dr. Samayaye is a fantastic guy. You see, there are some people it takes them to take 5 months. But Dr. Samayaye, upon all the busy scale, they will still take time to respond to our messages. I really appreciate that. And all the government appointees who are doing so well. Sam George or Baduma and our appointees who are
gentlemen, I thank you very much for gracing the show this morning, serving as the best of intellect and education. We thank you, and we hope to see you here again very soon in the studios of Ghana Talks Radio on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. And to our listeners, I thank you for making time with us throughout, since the newspaper review through to the news and now here where we've ended the breakfast show. We thank you. Up next is some soothing music coming your way, and in the afternoon I'll be back on your airwaves with the Showbiz Arena. So stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of your morning.